Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Live from Sherwood Forest in the heart of Atlanta, Georgia, Hour 1 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I am your lovable, huggable, mid-morning chat host, Erich Von Haessler, surrounded by the lovely Doctrinaires, man of 1,000 voices, Tim Andrews, lady of quite a few voices in her own right, Autumn Fisher, and the handsomest producer in all of producery, Jared Yamamoto.
Happy Monday, Eric.
Well, happy Monday to you. How are you feeling? This guy had not only an alcohol-drenched weekend, a bachelor party weekend, a getting drunk on the golf course in Arizona weekend, and, as I understood from him before he went, the broiest of broiest bro friends bro weekend.
This is my soon-to-be step-brother-in-law, and all of his buddies that went to the University of Virginia.
So just a lot of alcohol and nonsense, but you
a little
appear,
sunburn, too, about being out there in the desert. It was fun.
He had to watch the Super Bowl on the plane on the way back.
Yes, I did. And
that seems weird to me because obviously there are fans on one side and the other stuck inside this toothpaste tube traveling at 30,000 feet in the air. And then so the game ends and like a bunch of people on that plane are probably sad and the other people are happy, and you're lucky it didn't come to fisticuffs.
Yeah, I was lucky. I was sitting next to a Chiefs fan, so at least they were having a good time. Yeah. But there were some sad 49ers
Make
fans.
out with her? Was it a gal or a guy?
No, I didn't. I have a girlfriend, thank you very much.
I understand that, but I mean, it could be a great moment because when your team wins for the first time in 50 years, you got
to take advantage of it.
You may want to do things to celebrate that moment.
She did keep craning over and looking over at my screen, and I finally just told her, I said, hey, we can watch it together. It's okay.
What are you watching?
Oh, is that your move, huh? Hey, feel free.
What are you Oh my God, what are they doing?
This is the Super Bowl. Look, this is great. This is the third quarter.
Which is your favorite team?
I'm more of a Falcons fan.
Falcons fan? Me too.
Yeah, no way. Yeah. Where are you from? Where are you going?
We're Atlanta, I think.
Oh, cool. We should hang out.
Yeah, that's where we're going because we're on the same plane.
No, I didn't know if you were connecting or something, but hey.
She'd like to. Sounds like she'd like to.
Yeah, I'd like to do some connecting. I'm into it.
All right, there's a lot to get to this, and also, by the way, everybody on your best behavior. We happen to be working under the auspices of a 10 on the Mellish meter. Let's have a show. Let's have a show that lives up to the 10 on the Mellish meter. Let's get it started with this.
Super Bowl 54, Miami.
Look at that. That's a one-day sounder. You see the work that we put into this show? We don't.
You got that orchestra going.
Oh yeah, we had to. You know how much that costs to get the orchestra in just to do all that?
We're dedicated.
We got that guy with the slow, weird voice. This stuff. And look, we do it for you, the listener.
It's expensive, man.
And we have to. It's a 10 on the Mellish meter. All right.
Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are Super Bowl champs, Eric.
You have the call for the end there? That's what most radio shows would do.
And they have done it. Chiefs are Super Bowl champions here in Miami. As they win it here in Super Bowl 54.
Okay, first is a few things. Let's start with Erich Von Haessler. It's really all about me. Does anyone realize how close we were to me nailing the score right on it? When there were 3 minutes and 55 seconds left, and it was 24-20. And so you had 3 minutes, 55 seconds for Garoppolo to go down the field. And had he not overthrown the wide-open receiver for a certain touchdown, follow that with an extra kick, what's the score? 49ers 27, Chiefs 24. Now, I'll give it to you. There would have been 2 minutes left probably for Mahomes to maybe tie it or win it. And who knows then? All bets are off. But that's the thing that really mattered to me. Ultimately, I found myself during the game, I didn't really care. I found myself, for some reason, kind of rooting for the 49ers, and I don't know why, unless it's just because I said they were going to win, and I like to be right on the radio. But it seemed like but I like Andy Reid, and I found myself at the end glad for Andy Reid, but sad for Kyle Shanahan, who for the second time in a couple of years in the Super Bowl has watched a lead evaporate in the fourth quarter. But I'll just say this, Patrick Mahomes just lived up to the hype because outside of the touchdown that passes and his run, he kept them alive in the third. Couple of certain third downs, he willed them to first downs to stay in that thing to do what they did in the fourth quarter. So he just completely lived up to it and made it happen.
I never have that mindset. To me, my mindset is always play and compete until the very last whistle, until that clock strikes zero. And so I just went out there and kept competing. I knew we weren't in the ideal situation, but I believed in my defense to get stops, and they did. And then the guys kept believing in me and started making plays downfield, and we found a way to win.
That's the face of the league right there. Bye-bye, Tom Brady. I don't know where you're going to play, but this is the future face. This guy is like Peyton Manning and Tom Brady all rolled into one. That is the face. Although Garoppolo has got, he has his time, and he has a better face than most human beings.
Oh, he's handsome.
Oh my goodness gracious! There's no doubt about that. I mean, I say, I don't have to swing. I'm just saying.
Oh, now I know why you were pulling for the 49ers.
Well, don't use the term pulling, please. But what I'm saying is that I as a man can respect the face of another man that is chiseled so perfectly as your Jimmy Garoppolo. So really, in the end, it's funny, the Super Bowl. Now, I'd imagine it would be the same if I was invested in soccer, the way that Europeans or South Americans are invested in soccer. For me and the stuff that I watch throughout my life, there's nothing like the Super Bowl. The end of a Super Bowl is so wonderful for one side and just so awful for the other side. And I would imagine if I cared about soccer, that same thing happens in the World Cup. I mean, the World Cup, you spend 4 years trying to get there,
right,
as opposed to one season. But getting that close and not getting it, it really is stark, the difference. But I'm glad for Andy Reid. Yes.
I don't envy Aaron Andrews, who had to go and interview Kyle Shanahan after that. If I'm the coach of the losing team like that, I would not want to talk to the reporters.
That's why you're getting paid $10 million a year. It's part of it. You got to go do it.
How about poor Nick Bosa crying on the sideline?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's into
emotional.
Yeah,
That's
it's emotional.
What it is.
And you could say, well, you're a rookie and it's a young team. When we were here, when we first came to town, Keith Brookings went to a Super Bowl in his first year. I'm sure he thought, it never happened again. Dan Marino went to his second year, I think, and Marino is unbelievable. Never went again. So there's just because you're young and you're talented doesn't necessarily. But I think if you add Garoppolo's face to the mix, I think they'll be back.
Yeah.
Young, talented Garoppolo's face. I think that they'll get another shot at it. But maybe Kyle Shanahan's going to be the next Andy Reid. The offensive, the genius who can't. Man, there were some great plays even late in that game. He was showing things for the first time. There was a couple of running plays in the late third, fourth quarter. It was the first time you saw him. The dude knows what he's doing. But, if Garoppolo hits that receiver, it's a little bit different. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's talk about the important thing, the halftime show.
Oh, yeah. People are raving about that.
Yeah. All right, I get it. A couple of things here. What I found interesting was that I was like, when Shakira put out the turkey mating call, I was wondering if it would work, and apparently it did. So we had Shakira, and then there was a response. It took them a while to get the turkeys off the field after the game. I don't know what that was all about.
They keep showing that clip of her with her tongue out going.
I want to say.
It's cultural. You don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand. With turkeys, it's cultural with turkeys.
Yep, she's culturally appropriating turkeys.
I don't know what. Maybe she needed.
The turkeys are pissed. The turkeys took to Twitter.
Yes, they're upset for appropriating turkey culture. And we don't mean the country. Let me just say this. I am often accused of being an aging fuddy-duddy because it's true. So I'm not gonna make that mistake here. It was the halftime show was a benign. It was pleasure. I think it was fine. But there are a few things that I find interesting here. One is that if you're woke, you can get away with a lot of things. Apparently, the Janet Jackson thing has been put to rest. Because if I was to describe a couple of themes here for the halftime show with Shakira and J-Lo, one would be patriotic booty. That would be... That would be one. And so there's all of this stripper imagery going on. And I don't know if you noticed this, but at one point, J-Lo simulated self-love. You remember the whole Janet Jackson thing was, this is, we have 7-year-olds watching, and this is a family event. Apparently, that's completely gone if you add a woke element. Number one, that you had Latinas, going, like it's news to America that Latin music is awesome. That was like a slam dunk. So it wasn't, all right, the music is going. But I have other, like I say, I thought it was fun to watch. But there was the woke element, and then there was the stripper pole element, and I'll get into more of that when we get back. So yeah, during the halftime show, and it's being overwhelmingly applauded, which just shows that a little bit of wokeness will cover up everybody being... Because I remember the Janet Jackson thing was, we have children watching, this is a family event, and that doesn't... I mean, I thought, look, I'm not a child, so I found it visually enticing, and I didn't care about the music, and it was a big old show, and that's fine. But I find it interesting that if you throw it, if you look in the middle, and this was done subtly. My son had to point it out to me that at one point, so it's weird because it was all like TNA and stripper poles, and then suddenly there's a children's choir on stage with them.
I thought that too.
Yeah, and then
what are these kids doing here all of a sudden?
Yeah, it's like why did you bring your kids to the strip club? Kind of a weird thing. But it wasn't. They didn't look like total cages, so I'm a little dense. My son had to point out that when the kids were in those little things, those artistic, it was supposed to symbolize kids in cages. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get it. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I get the theme of this Super Bowl halftime show. The theme is we've got to let these little girls out of these cages so they can grow up and become empowered strippers. That seems to have been basically most of the...
Yeah, grow up so you can embrace your sexuality.
Yeah, and simulate self-love. That's the best way I can put it, as J-Lo did as she did her Pete Townsend slide toward the camera.
I saw that too.
Yeah, it's like, whoa!
Yeah, do you know why she's doing all that stripper stuff?
Because she was in that movie.
Yeah,
but
I think she wanted to show off her skills that she had.
And
to
also,
learn
it's
for
not
the
like
movie.
J-Lo has 90 hits. She kind of had to. And I'm not really into the whole dancer thing, but and also Shakira. I mean,
they were amazing.
As those things go, the dancing was very good. There was no left shark. Everybody was in sync. But what I found interesting, though, when in the days of empowerment and women and all of that, there's nothing about that show that was any different than if in 1968 a bunch of old white guys put together a performance. Plenty of skin, plenty of leg. There was nothing there that Dean Martin or Frank Sinatra would have had any problem
with. You got that Latin hotness. Ooh, salsa.
Yeah, maybe the kids in cages. I don't know if Sinatra would have gotten that part.
Hey, don't put them kids in cages.
Here's another one. How about the whole thing with the American flag before the game, with the whole Johnny Cash thing, and it might as well have just flashed on the screen. The NFL is no longer associated with Colin Kaepernick. It's okay. Come on back. I mean, they even had the part of the Johnny Cash Old Rugged Flag kind of poem thing where it's not so popular at home, and they show a montage of like hippies in the 60s burning the flag, which they could have showed a few NFL players kneeling at that part of it, which they didn't. I mean, the only thing that would have made that better as a patriotic thing from the NFL is if the last shot was Colin Kaepernick vomiting all over his living room table or something, watching it.
I did Colin Bowl during halftime. You guys didn't watch that?
No.
Get it on YouTube. I just lit American flags on fire and knelt on them.
And then I heard that Jay-Z, Beyonce, and their kid sat during the national anthem.
Yes, they did.
Which I just thought was like, who are you trying to be cool for now? I mean, it's almost like old people trying to be cool and missing the moment. I felt like Jay-Z is under a lot of scrutiny because he's working with the NFL, and so he just got to show his street cred somehow. I don't think this is going to start a whole thing again. Maybe it was a no-lose for Jay-Z because the NFL doesn't want to make a big deal out of it. The networks don't want to make a big deal out of it. It's probably kind of a one-day story, but all the people who are saying he's losing his credibility by working so closely with the NFL, maybe he gets a little street cred. I don't know. That seemed...
Probably didn't want to hear it from Solange all weekend.
Yes.
My sister-in-law. She's
yelling at him in an elevator.
Oh, yeah. She big...
She's really big into that.
Well, it's fine. It's fine. It's America. Do what you want. But I think it just kind of came off as wearing bell-bottoms in 1988 or something. Yes?
It was interesting that you were getting push notifications when they were sitting down during that. Like, not even that the game had started, but that was the push notification.
Yes,
like,
which just goes to show you, it's like, when in reality, now I know news is supposed to be maybe the things that stand out, so this isn't a perfect point. But in reality, the headline could be 75,607 people stand for the national anthem, as opposed to 3 who don't. But it really is like, is this going to start a whole new movement? Yeah, probably not. Probably not. Did you see? We might as well start the political part of this as well. Then we'll come back. We'll roll over. And how much time I have here? About a minute or so?
A minute.
Yeah. Why don't you? I have to tell you that when it came to the dueling ads between Trump and Bloomberg that we were, built up for, I think Trump knocked it out of the park. Bloomberg had a very typical ad about his, his support for gun control. Trump just hit it with 100 million people watching, a lot of African-American viewers, and an African-American woman saying, God bless Donald Trump. I'm
free to hug my family.
Stop for a second. This is one of the people that he pardoned and let out of prison. So, go ahead.
I'm free to hug my family. I'm free to start over. This is the greatest day of my life. My heart is just bursting with gratitude. I want to thank President Donald John Trump. Thank you.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
This guy who's running his campaign, I'm objectively speaking here, if you're just new to this show, I don't care who you vote for. I'm not trying to tell you to vote for. If you ask me, I'll tell you, but this is not what this show is all about. But double standards are fun. And if this guy, Brad Pascal, is that his name? The guy who's running Trump's campaign, who was his social media guy last time, he's that this time, and he's the campaign manager. This guy is a genius. If he had been working for, remember when Obama was a genius for his social media and everything? This is not getting reported, which is silly because he may have a lot to do if Trump gets reelected, this Brad Pascal, and this is part of his kind of thinking. Another thing about the Super Bowl halftime show with Shakira's turkey call, and then they came a-running. I don't know if you saw, it took them a while to clear the field of all the turkeys that responded to Shakira's call. How much do you think was lip-synced?
It was hard. It was really hard to tell.
But, yes. Obviously it was tracked. There was no band until there was some guitars for a moment.
Oh, well, and her playing guitar.
Guitar,
with that capo behind her fingers, which doesn't make sense.
So it was Shakira who played the guitar, right?
Yes.
Not J-Lo. And then was it J-Lo? They had the horns, the guys with horns. And then sometimes you would hear horns, but they would have them down, not playing them. And then other times they'd be playing them and you wouldn't hear horns.
Just watch the dancing girl. Just watch the dancing girl.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
By the way, I'm not going to get overly... I saw a story. Lady Gaga said they better not be any lip syncing during that thing. It's a huge thing to pull off in the middle of a stadium that you set up the stage 10 minutes before. I mean, I don't have a problem with it. It's about it's a television performance, and I don't have a problem with it. But it was funny that there was like 5 guys dancing with horns, and then you'd hear horns, and they'd just be in their hands while they were dancing. And then I swear, another time they were all playing the horns, and you couldn't hear any horns. So we're going to roll over to campaign trail mix very soon and get into Iowa, Trump, and the Super Bowl. But before we get there, did he delete this congratulatory tweet or not, Tim Andrews?
He deleted it and wrote a new one.
So what was the first one?
As Trump?
As Trump.
Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs, a great team, and a fantastic comeback. Under immense pressure, you represented the great state of Kansas, and in fact the entire USA, so very well. Where'd that turkey come from?
Kansas City is in Missouri. Well, there's a Kansas City, Kansas.
Look, it's an easy mistake. Okay, common mistake. Why don't they call it Missouri City?
Makes sense.
Hey, look, reelect me. First day, executive order, you're changing it to Missouri City. Home of the turkeys.
Joe, you're in Iowa.
Iowa.
I've never been there, but my understanding is the two Kansas cities right on the border. That you go from one Kansas City, Kansas, right into Kansas City, Missouri.
He knows.
But all the pro teams, the Kansas City pro teams are in Missouri, not Kansas, because that's a bigger city, right? Kansas City, Missouri is a big city. Kansas City, Kansas is not. I guess they can't support their own.
Well, because of this,
they have a NASCAR track, but that's it.
It's the Kansas Speedway.
Yes, it's in Kansas City, Kansas.
It's not called the Kansas City Speedway because they don't want people to get confused.
This ain't Maryland. Oh, wait, what?
Missouri.
Missouri.
Well, because of this tweet,
the show me state.
You can always tell if somebody is from Missouri because they say Missouri. The rest of us say Missouri, and the natives say Missouri.
I found out why they call it the show me state, because you have to show me where it is on a map.
Yes.
But now because of this tweet that you've deleted, President Trump, Trump is an idiot is the third biggest trend in the U.S.
That's right, because Joe Biden's never done anything like that. Let's do this.
Hi, I'm Bernie Sanders. I'm running for president.
They call me Mayor Pete, and I am running for president of the United States.
So I'm in this fight all the way.
That's why today I'm announcing my candidacy for president of the United States.
When we start running, keep America great! Exclamation point.
Trail mix.
So we already talked about the duel between Trump and Bloomberg with the advertising. I'll just tell you, I just think hands down, Trump won it by being more original and doing something that you didn't expect, which is just having an African-American woman speaking for herself and thanking Donald John Trump for being freed from prison. And he had, there were some words that came up explaining the situation, and then just him at the end saying, I'm Donald Trump. I just think it took people by surprise, and it stood out. Bloomberg had a fine ad, but it was 60 seconds long, and it was just kind of it's what you would kind of expect, I'll stand up to the gun lobby, and there was nothing that you didn't. Bloomberg has put more money than anyone except maybe Soros into that, so it wasn't a surprise for his brand, whereas, Trump using that platform to court African-American support, Trump doesn't have to get a whole lot. If Trump gets 15% of African-American support, it's really almost impossible to lose. So he got 6 last time. There are a lot of credible polls that show him above 25%.
Really?
Yeah. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to go vote. It comes down to Election Day as to whether or not a voting bloc actually gets out there. But he's seeing good response, and all he has to do is get from 6 to 15, and he becomes absolutely unbeatable. So I just think it was a more clever move and a smart use of it. Bloomberg spent $10 million on a 60-second ad. Trump had 2, which probably cost him $60 million altogether. And the first one in the first quarter with the African-American supporter thanking him, I just thought that was more effective. We'll find out in November. And if I'm wrong, a lot of time will have passed and no one's going to hold my feet to the fire.
And after I buy the Democratic nomination.
Yes, Bloomberg, as you, I heard, was it Steve Bannon over the weekend saying that Bloomberg is trying to have a leverage buyout of the Democrat Party. Bernie.
It will be mine.
Freaking out. You have that, who's the guy? Is his name Danny Deutsch or something? That guy on MSNBC. This is cut 20. They're freaking out on the Democrat side because apparently the last polling shows Bernie surging at 7 points ahead of anybody. Bernie is a declared socialist and I think unelectable in a general election. I think a lot of Democrats, it's starting to get again with the whole, how can we stop Bernie? Because we don't think this is going to, Biden is the new Hillary. Bernie is back playing Bernie once again. And apparently just really pulling out in this latest polling. This is the Danny Deutsch. Is that
Danny Deutsch.
Was he like a marketing guy or something? Got his own show. He's really kind of a bon vivant.
I've heard the name over
like
the years.
Cocktail party circuit,
Right.
and he's become kind of a known. He had his own show at MSNBC that failed, but he's a pundit over there now. And these are the Democrats who are freaking out about Bernie.
The party better wake up, because if they think the faces of the party that's going to beat Donald Trump is Bernie Sanders and AOC, they're smoking something.
Now, here's the thing that Donnie Deutsch, was he in Sync or
I think
Kids
it
on
was
the
in
Block?
Kids on the Block because he's older.
Yeah.
Donnie was my favorite.
Turns out Bernie Sanders kind of got lucky with the impeachment trial where he couldn't be in Iowa because AOC has been in Iowa for the last 2 weeks standing in for him. And this latest amount of energy, now maybe they had planned to do it together, and so it could have had the same effect, but it's been AOC the last 2 weeks in Iowa that has really ignited this fire, and kind of a happy accident that he was forced to stay off the trail. Now, there was a moment with AOC, do we have this, where, Tlaib, 3 of the 4 of the squad, as they're known, is it AOC plus 3? This is AOC plus 2 for Bernie. I guess Presley
supports Elizabeth Warren.
Is it Warren?
I'm pretty sure it's Warren.
She doesn't support. So the 3 of them are appearing together. This is Tlaib, AOC, and Ilhan Omar. And Hillary Clinton's name comes up. Now, you remember, Bernie people hate Hillary because they feel like she stole the nomination that got in his way, and when he was actually the more energetic, more on fire candidate the last time around. So her name comes up again, and then the booing. So is it Tlaib in here who says, no, we're going to boo?
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton said that we're not going to boo, we're classy here. I'll boo. Boo.
You all know I can't be quiet. No, we're going to boo. That's all right. The haters will shut up on Monday when we win.
There we go.
Yeah. If you're booing somebody, how does that not make you, in the moment anyway, the hater?
Yeah.
I mean, we all
haters
know.
that hate hating.
Yeah. Yeah. Haters that hate hating are going to shut up tomorrow. I mean, we all know that hater doesn't actually mean hatred anymore. It just means critics. No one wants to deal with critics anymore. So if you call them haters, there's no need to actually think of what they said, how they critiqued you, maybe get better. So haters doesn't mean hatred. But I think even in the new lingo of hater, if you're actively booing in the moment, I think you would be the critic, right? You'd be that hater. Boo! Boo!
I'm going to boo. Boo!
Moo! Boo! Boo!
Boo!
Do you have the example of Biden forgetting where he is again?
Yes.
So he's in Dubuque, and his kids are in Des Moines, right? And
they're his granddaughters.
His granddaughters are in Des Moines, and he kind of messes it. He's actually in Dubuque at the time of this.
My other 3 granddaughters are down in Dubuque with my wife Jill, and Des Moines. I'm in Dubuque, in Des Moines.
Joe, you're in Iowa.
Yeah, no, I'm here in Dubuque, Des Moines. I'm in here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and going over to Council Bluffs maybe later, and that's where my daughter is and my son.
Joe, you're in Iowa.
No, I'm not. I'm right here in Council Bluffs, and I'm gonna play some slot machines.
Go to
there.
Joe.
There.
303.
E02130 and help me in this fight.
Joe, you're in Iowa.
And then got them Indians that run them casinos. They do a damn fine job.
Joe, no, not. Don't say Indian. No.
Oh yeah. Please be careful. Crisscross applesauce.
Natives. Red man runs them Sioux Indian things.
Joe, you're in Iowa.
Hey, stand up, pal.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction.
You see
Go
them?
to Joe 30330 and help me in this fight.
Joe, you're in Iowa. Iowa.
Isn't that the show where girls were on the water tower and they're just taking a bath in the train water?
Yeah, you're Uncle Joe. You're moving mighty slow.
Right there by the train tracks, taking a bath in that dirty water they fill the train with.
Joe, you've had all this time, man. Well, all the other senators
Let
that
me
are
tell
running
you,
for
he's had a
president.
lot of time. Donald Trump's had a lot of time to prove what a bully he is.
No,
and how
you've
bad
had
he
a
is.
lot of. You've been in Iowa while the other senators that are running for president have been kept up in Washington.
Joe, you're in Iowa.
Great here in the great turkey state of Iowa where the turkeys...
Yeah, good.
Yeah, those Portuguese turkeys from Brazil.
I ain't dead.
Nope.
I'm not gonna die.
Well, I might, but not now.
And that's Uncle Joe. He's a moving kind of slow at the junction.
Go to Joe 30330
Klondike 5-2
and help me in this fight.
3-5.
More from Iowa when we return. I didn't see the Hannity. I didn't see the full interview that Hannity did with Trump because usually I feel like those are usually on the 5 o'clock hour.
Yeah, usually
and
it's about an hour.
They snuck it in early, like it's 2:30 or 2:45.
That's really early.
But I did see the previews of it, and when Mike Bloomberg comes up, I think they're doing a little word association, and Hannity throws out different names. And when Bloomberg comes up, it's all about him being short and the fact that he has requested a box when he's on stage at the debate. Do you
Michael Bloomberg. Very little. I just think of little. Now he wants a box for the debates to stand on. Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. You could be short. Why should he get a box to stand on, okay? He wants a box for the debates. Why should he be entitled to that? Really? Then does that mean everyone else gets a box? Why should he get a box to stand on? He wants a box. He wants a box.
Why should he get a box? Why should he get a box? I don't get a box. I wouldn't mind a box. Why don't I get a box?
If you get a box, you'd be 7 feet tall.
Doesn't matter. It's fair. Shouldn't everybody have a box? He's a little guy.
Could somebody look up? Autumn, you're good at this one. Can you look up exactly how tall is Mike Bloomberg?
4'3".
Why should he get a box to stand on? He wants a box.
He's 5'8".
He's 5'8".
Little guy.
Why should he get a box to stand on?
Joe Biden is 6 feet. Trump is 6'3".
Why should he
Bernie
get a box
Sanders
to
is 6
stand
feet.
on?
Basically, I guess what he's saying is it's false advertising. You'll be watching it, you won't see the box behind the podium, and you'll think that he's as tall as everyone else.
Get some lifts.
Yeah, like Gene Simmons or Paul Stanley, right?
I'm Robert De Niro.
Hour 2 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. Watched a lot of television over the weekend. And yesterday, I started, the pregame started at 1. Kickoff was at, 6:20?
Yeah. No, 6:45.
Really? So it's like, I watched a little bit of this. I'm going to catch up on a few things. I watched that Picard, the first episode, because that was on YouTube.
Oh, number one, you're a dog now.
I liked it. I have to say, it wasn't perfect, but I liked it. And my 22-year-old, who turned 22 this over the weekend, he likes to not like things. I think he's at that age. So he didn't like it and was going off. It's only got the pressure. It's not like Star Wars or even the Star Trek movies. The pressure on this is it just has to be as good as your average Star Trek Next Generation episode, right? And I thought it was interesting, not perfect. I don't understand why Data, who is an android, has aged in his dreams.
Been eating too much oil, Data. You're fat.
Oh, he's an android, right?
Or even why he's hanging out with Data so much.
No, he's
Well,
dreaming
he's
about
dreaming. He's dreaming.
I love Data so much. Especially all the times I yelled at him and prevented him from doing things.
No, I think that there's a reason for it. Did you watch it?
No,
there's a reason. No, he's deeply tangled in the story that's right. Unfolding. So I thought that was pretty good. My son didn't like it. We watched another one, and I'm gonna tell you, I know that most people probably don't like this show, but I'm gonna tell you right now, I do, and that's Avenue 5 on HBO, which is best summed up as, to me, once I figured out that it's Naked Gun in space, I relaxed and started enjoying it. Because at first, it's just like punchline, 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 and you're thinking, where's the studio audience for this? But they are so invested, and the cast is so buying into what they're doing that I genuinely enjoyed it. Again, my 22-year-old who loves to not love things disagreed with me on that.
I gotta agree with him.
Yeah, well, I mean, I could see where it'd be off-putting, and I don't expect it to be around for very long. But if you think of it like an airplane or a Naked Gun, then you're really into where I think that it's very funny. But it's just line after line. It really is. It's like the kind of writing that's on Archer, except maybe weirder that real-life human beings are delivering that kind of back-and-forth dialogue to each other. Or Family Guy. It's got the writing of what we're used to from animated characters, but seeing real people do it, it's all you just have to kind of relax and let it wash over you. But
why didn't your son like it?
I don't know.
You guys should do a little review show.
You're looking for content every day.
Well, I'm going to do a review show with my son?
Yeah.
My son doesn't like it, number one, because I like it.
Then listen, the grown adult fathers who are listening to us right now will be like, just like my son. You know what I mean? They'll feel closer to you. And then the younger people listening will be like, yeah, Ian's right. He's an old man.
First of all, I only have two sons, so if I have a podcast with one, I don't have with the other, then I'm showing some kind of favoritism.
No, the other one's off. He's getting married, starting his own life. He's out of the nest. This one is still like dipping his toe back in the nest.
Oh, okay. I see how it works.
Yeah, it's fine.
Autumn picks favorites.
You know what? Let him go out there and bomb for 3 billion times on stage before he gets the platform that I have. What am I just going to elevate him up there? I don't believe in nepotism, young lady. I know you've always accused me of nepotism, but I don't believe in it.
Well, I thought it was something to do with people being dead for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, that's what's that? That's necromancy.
Necrophilia.
What's necromancy?
It's when you take your dead friend out to dinner.
Yeah, I thought necromancy is when you have
I got you a necklace.
You have a republic based on dead people.
Ooh,
it's a necromancy. Necromancy.
It's when you have one religion. It's a religion. And when
All right. Get Autumn going. It doesn't make any sense. I'll tell you that I absolutely do not endorse that statement
I stopped what I was
Ladies
saying.
and gentlemen, let's do this.
Headlines for Monday, February 3rd.
You know, we got my audience is already crazy about the whole TNA halftime show.
I couldn't believe it.
My 7-year-old wouldn't stop smiling.
Yeah.
Granddad woke up. Well, look at them. Is that Charo?
All right, they were trying to create this. We have to take the next day off from Super Bowl.
Today is a national holiday.
It's not a national holiday.
It is not a
It's
holiday.
Super Sick
It's
Monday.
a federal holiday.
Public relations ploy on the part of Fox networks to get people to call in sick the next day or get it off. And did Robin do a package?
Yeah, she did.
Then let's see how. I'll tell you this: given the amount of traffic that was on 400 at 6:15 this morning, I don't think the National Call-In Sick Day worked very well. But go ahead.
People this morning will be calling out, no doubt using reasons from the good old.
There's a little difference between me and Robin Walensky. I say calling in. She says calling out. Who's right?
Well, you have to call in to call out.
I know, but haven't you always said calling in sick?
I say calling in sick, but down here they say
calling out. Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to. Hey, I don't want to be one of these carpetbaggers who brings my lingo from up north and try. It's on me, right?
One's a
you
verb
and me.
and one's a noun, right?
Yeah, but you and I, it doesn't matter. It's colloquial.
I don't say buggy. I say cart. Shopping cart.
So, it's for you and I to assimilate.
I need to get me some insurance.
Yes, go ahead.
And it's raining outside, so I got my umbrella.
And to be fair, when Eric and Tim call out, they don't actually call; they text out.
Yeah,
hey,
right.
Inside baseball.
Yeah. Tim Andrews refuses to text me because he still thinks he's working at some video shop and I'm the manager, and so he texts Jared because he doesn't want to deal with me as if I'm some kind of ogre.
You're not going to write back anyway.
I would just say fine. Well, yeah, I don't care. I don't want people to come in.
You give the little thumbs up emoji.
Yeah, it's
I didn't even get that.
But
sounds good.
It's just like I don't want to tell Eric. I'll tell Jared.
Yeah, it's just okay. No punctuation.
That's carrying old thought to the new place.
On you?
Yes, I know. So that's why last week when I didn't feel well after the America concert, I texted Jared. I said the night before, I said, I am not feeling well. Yeah. If I'm not in tomorrow, I'll text you and Eric.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
See?
Mm-hmm. All right.
I understand.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
That's right.
Almost 50, time to grow up.
All right, let's hear it. Almost.
Yeah.
I mean, by the time you're 50, maybe that's a good time
so.
to actually become an adult.
I don't know. We'll see.
Here's Robin's package from Atlanta's Morning News.
People this morning will be calling out, no doubt using reasons from the good old excuse hit list. Bad back. I have a fever. Sore throat. My kid is sick. Well, whatever your reason, a new survey by the Workforce Institute finds an estimated 17 million Americans actually stay home this day after the Super Bowl. Some might simply be suffering from a case of heartbreak because their team of choice lost. Robin Walensky, 95.5 WSB.
Great report, Robin, but I would say to anyone who calls in or out, I'll leave it up to you, today, should be ashamed of themselves. I got about 4 hours. What did you get?
4 hours.
About 4 hours. This Jared Yamamoto was at a bro fest all weekend long at the Waste Management.
The Waste Management Open in Phoenix.
In Phoenix with his broiest of bro friends with all kinds of alcohol.
He's going to be my brother. He will be my brother.
He's going to be your bro. He's going to be a bro's bro. And
listen, I'm dead and I'm here.
Yeah, she's dead and she made it. And this guy, what time did your flight land?
It left Phoenix at 6 and got back local time 12:30 last night.
Okay, so you had to go home from the airport?
Yeah, I probably laid down in bed at 1:15.
So you should be ashamed of yourself. Look at this Jared Yamamoto. What he does for a living doesn't even matter. And he, in
the grand scheme
what I'm
of
saying
things.
is you're not a paramedic, you're not a firefighter, you're not something like that. I mean, we put on little goofy shows. If we had one crappy show, the world doesn't die. People can die if a firefighter doesn't show up for his shift. That's all I meant. And you should be ashamed of yourself. If Jared Yamamoto can land at 12:30 and still be here.
Yeah, I mean,
after drinking like crazy with a bunch of bros all weekend long.
Well, when it's a bachelor party, I mean, it's kind of expected,
right?
Oh,
God, is anything worse than a bachelor party infested with bro culture?
No.
How much of what happened would you actually tell Christina about?
I told her a decent amount this morning. We still have to catch up later on.
How much are you going to keep to yourself? How much is between the bros?
I'd say 10%.
Okay. Is it your sister that's being married to, or?
It's my stepsister, but she's been part of my family now for 15 years. So my sister.
Well, how many strip clubs did you go to?
That's in the 10% category there.
Well, don't you expect a bunch of bros to go to a strip club?
Of course. I mean,
the strippers are like, oh, God, we're going to make money, but we got to put up with this nonsense.
Yep. No, I was amazed at how much or how cost-effective they were out there compared to the Atlanta ones. I mean, let's just say that your dollar goes a lot further in Phoenix than it does here.
Well, that's because of Clark Howard.
You want to fire me up? You want to get me mad?
I gave her $8 and a penny.
Yeah.
I wish I had that, but I don't. All right. What do we got? What else do we have in the world of politics and sports and however they're coming together? Iowa is tomorrow, tonight.
Tonight.
How was that on Monday?
I know.
Is it
I
always
can't
on
think
a
of
Monday?
one.
Everything is Tuesday with elections. Like Trump is going to be acquitted on Wednesday. But he gives his State of the Union on tomorrow, on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see. If I don't do a good speech, I might not get acquitted.
Yeah, I don't quite understand.
And I'll have to retire to Missouri City.
We have to ask one of our experts, like Bill Crane or Jamie Dupree.
I'm emailing Jamie right now. I want to ask him why that is, because I can't remember a time that it's happened on a Monday.
It might be that I just forgot that they always do it on a Monday, but it's certainly odd. It seems like Tuesday is the day for national politics. All right, so if we believe the latest polling out of Iowa going into the caucuses tonight, Bernie Sanders has pulled away with a 7-point lead.
Yeah, and that's kind of been the trend for the last couple of weeks is that he's really...
She's got AOC out there, and they're falling in love with her.
She's a hot tomato.
tomato?
She's a hot tomato. She goes out there when I'm here trying to deal with this ridiculous impeachment that I disagree with and don't even care about, to tell you one thing. But she's great.
You've been lucky. AOC's out there.
She's fantastic. I love you, honey. You're fantastic.
Nobody can spread the anti-American message better than AOC.
She's out there telling all these people how stupid they are to want to have their own house, farm, car, whatever, money. You take it away. Look, I'm a man.
It's your male patriarchy sitting up on your throne
exactly.
that's making you feel like I'm spreading anti-American.
You talking to me?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, how come
I'm spreading what real America is about?
And you're in favor of a really old white guy becoming the next president.
She likes me.
He's like cool. So
he's a cool grandpa.
Listen, real quick. Hang on a second. AOC, you're good. Okay. She's the embodiment of the reverse of privilege. She went to a nice school in Boston. Mm-hmm. She interned with Ted Kennedy. I don't want to know what happened there.
No.
I don't care. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. But now she's in a position of power.
That's very good. So she worked there. Yeah, absolutely.
I want to know what happened with Kennedy. Yeah, good. No one's asked her.
You don't want to know. You don't want to know. I think he was too old to cause trouble at that point.
Well, I'm not saying she did anything, but he's gross.
Was,
whatever.
So you have him in Iowa. He made his way back for some late night. Do you have number 13?
Yes.
So tomorrow night is the beginning. Yes. It is the beginning of the end for Donald Trump.
There's nothing wrong with that, but you can kind of get people excited to go to because you got to go into like a gymnasium and stand in one of four schools. It's kind of like that cow bingo or something. You got to stand in the right box. You got to be in the right place, and then you can change boxes if you don't get enough people in your box. And that's why That's why it's important that
he wants a box.
Everybody wants a box.
Box. You want a box?
Not that kind of boxing. It's also the beginning then, not just for Trump, but also for.
It's the beginning of the moment when we tell the billionaire class and the 1%, this country belongs to all of us, not just a few.
So stop with your innovations and your inventions.
Right.
And you're putting your capital
everything we
on
have,
the line.
Everything we need, we have. We don't need any
I
new
love
things.
this idea that you can just pull the hammer down on millionaires and billionaires. And, of course, they'll still keep investing in business at the same rate. They'll still keep taking chances with their money. It doesn't matter how much you tax them or harass them. They're gonna keep on, dreaming up the next product that everybody wants.
You take that sweet money to another country.
Yeah, and where it belongs.
Where it belongs.
Help out other people. And then Warren, this I find head-scratching. I don't care who you're. There's no denying this is the lowest unemployment rate in 50 years. There's no denying that it's the highest African-American workforce rate in 50 years. There's no denying that it's the highest female workforce rate in like 20 years. And Warren's pitch is, this is just awful.
That's what's taking the legs out from underneath our economy. We have to change this. We need a different approach to our economy.
What do we have to change?
Everything.
Why do we have to change an economy that is, no matter what if you don't like Trump, I get it. You don't like his style, his demeanor.
He's being horrible.
Yeah, but you said we have to change.
Everything.
We have to change everything about the economy. Exactly. And I'm just wondering why that would be, given the fact that no matter what you think of the president, the economy appears to be on fire right now. Doesn't that help a lot of poor people? And
that's neither here nor there. Listen, everything has to change.
Yeah.
If we're going to make change, then things have to change. That's how change works.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't just change for change's sake, right? Well, are you out of breath? Have you been running? What's going on with you?
No, I'm just impassioned. Just because I'm a woman and I have things to say doesn't mean that I'm hysterical, sir.
She thinks she can pay for everything with beads.
Now we've gone through that. Go ahead, use that tired
Pocahontas.
There you go. We're all still laughing. Ha ha ha.
We are, because you're ridiculous.
Are you gonna do the there you go again? That could be a good one if she's if she ends up
me.
No, if she ends up on the stage with you, she's in the general election, and you say Pocahontas, and she takes the old Reagan thing and says, "There you go again."
Oh yeah, that'll be really good. It'll play well.
There you go again.
See, just like Reagan.
I was ready to say, there you go again.
There you go again, Walter Mondale.
Go ahead. So, I don't know, was it Mondale?
I think so.
It was Carter.
Carter?
Yeah, I think it was Carter.
Yeah, it was Carter.
Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yes, I do. I know
It's John
everything.
Anderson.
You have time? I don't think I have
Taft.
time. When we get, we have Outrage coming up, right?
Oh, yeah.
I saw some commentary on MSNBC. If this is the level of commentary that people who watch MSNBC expect and want, I simply don't know how effective they can be on the national stage of politics. We'll do that before Outrage or after Outrage. Just stick with us. What else are you going to listen to? This is the only damn good show on the air. Boy, a lot of hackneyed political coverage today, because you know why? The Iowa Caucuses are tonight, and that means nobody in any newsroom has any other idea than go talk to people at diners. Maybe somebody just wants to enjoy their eggs and bacon. Just because I happen to be in Des Moines, it may not be. Where can you go unmolested? Yeah. Good eye.
Excuse me, I'd like another cup, please. Warm up.
Who do you think you're going to vote for today? Who do you think is going to take the state? Who do you support?
Who's running?
On the Democrat side, you have Elizabeth Warren. She is a senator from Massachusetts. And then you have Bernie Sanders, a senator from Vermont.
I feel like I knew that man in his younger days.
This is my favorite thing. Is like I see Chris Matthews. This is when all the anchors put on their jeans and sort of T-shirts because we're going to diners.
Oh,
to
no
talk
tie.
We're going to talk to diner people.
They got to fit in with the clothing.
They got to fit in.
Earlier this morning, I was crying because I thought that Bernie Sanders probably going to win us. And what's going to happen if Bernie wins this in New Hampshire? That's going to be it.
You look good in your jeans there, Chris
You like
Matthews.
these jeans? I had them pressed.
Just a regular person. You're just a normal dude in a
I'm
diner.
wearing a jacket, a sport jacket instead of a suit.
I don't know the whole narrative. I don't know that I've ever chosen a diner as the place to talk to people about politics. I don't know that I even agree with this narrative. And now, people who want to be interviewed, they know what diner to go to because you want to be on TV, which means it's not just a random slice of the people. It's like when Fox News or sometimes WSB in the Live Lounge, when you get, we got a bunch of voters who are undecided together, and we're gonna talk to them. No, at the point that you know that you're on the spot, that you're going to be asked questions after you watch the debate or whatever it is, you're no longer just a random slice. You know that you're going to be heard, so you want to perform well. Sir, you look like you have something to say.
I'm voting for Pete Buttigieg. I like the cut of his jib.
Which one's that?
He's kind of conservative. He's a young, handsome fella with the black hair.
Oh, he looks like my nephew.
He is, but he's not one of them crazy liberal ones. I mean, he's good enough.
Hey, honey, you need a little more coffee there?
No,
Hey, hon, you want a little warm up there?
I'll take some decaf, please. I can't have that.
We gotta brew it fresh.
Wow, how do you not fire the editor who says, I've got an idea, let's go interview people in diners. Let's do this.
Outrage Corner. That's outrageous.
People, you're not going to get better ideas in entertainment or news unless you stop eating this crap that is fed to you year after. It's come to the point where people are like, hey, I wonder what people are saying in diners. They're a random slice of voters in Iowa.
Hi, I'm Wolf Blitzer. We're here live at Kit Kat, the 24-hour all-new strip club just south of Des Moines. Truckers are welcome. They have trucker parking. We're going to find out what they think.
Not forgetting the strippers, of course, Wolf.
All news and all nudes.
That's a whole nother Oldham Tim piece there in the strip club. I would love to hear that.
I would love to hear some Outrage Corner.
Oh, okay.
That's why you're here, sir.
Okay.
Did you watch the Super Bowl?
I did watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this English Nick in the last, I've known him probably almost 20 years. And this last 5 or 6 years, he's really taken to American-style sports. He really enjoys them.
Here's the thing. It's on all the time. Also, being part of this show from time to time, you like to talk about it, so I like to keep up with it, and I've actually gotten into it.
Yeah.
I understand how the game works now after 20 years in this country.
Yeah, basically, you get up, you fall down, you get back up, you fall down, you get back up, you fall down.
It's rugby that keeps stopping all the time.
Yeah.
Rugby, this clock never stops.
Yeah, it gives you time to, go to the bathroom, make a sandwich.
Yeah, exactly.
It's casual rugby is what it is.
So what was your question
Did
about
you
the game?
enjoy the game?
I didn't. I like a nice close game. It was close all the way through, and man, Chiefs. Well, the 49ers threw it away in the end, really, right? I mean,
well, I don't know. I think Kyle Shanahan's taken too much of it was a heavyweight bout back and forth, and then that Patrick Mahomes lived up to the hype, and he is what they say he is, and he willed them to a victory, as Autumn Fisher will let you know. She knows more about this than any of us.
Kansas City made great adjustments at the halftime.
They certainly did, actually. Autumn.
That's very true.
Autumn.
You mean the fourth quarter?
Yeah, Autumn Fisher knows so much about the Super Bowl that she scheduled her 3-year-old's birthday party during the Super Bowl.
Was the game on during the party?
No. There were no TVs.
Were there any parents? Did anybody show up?
Everybody left.
They just sent their kids.
They just dropped off their kids and like, see ya. They went to the bar next door.
What was it, 5 to 7? So really, the kickoff wasn't 6:45.
5:15 to 7:30.
You didn't miss
7:15. I'm sorry.
Was it mostly moms, or did a few dads get dragged into this?
There was only one dad.
Yeah. Did you apologize to him?
He didn't seem to mind.
Oh, is he one of those stay-at-home dads, not into football?
Yeah, he just knew. He just knew that, San Francisco was going to play too conservatively.
Oh, it's Autumn. See, she really knows how to look things up on the internet. I appreciate that about her. Yes, Jared.
See, I think Andy Reid took Kyle Shanahan's playbook and started opening it up in the fourth quarter.
Well, it's about time.
It's
about time.
I'm on to Andy
Reid.
Reid.
I don't know when people. This is what Kansas City did the whole playoffs. They spot you 10 or more, and then they make it interesting by coming back in the fourth quarter and winning. All right.
That
what's that?
44-yard pass.
Yeah, wasn't that something?
That was a play that they ran earlier in the game.
Yeah.
But then that failed.
Yeah.
But then in running it again, they changed the router's route, fooling the defense.
She texted me in the beginning of the fourth quarter, and she said, I bet you San Francisco's defense is going to let them down.
Yeah. That offensive PI, though, against George Kittle, that would have changed things.
Yeah,
that wasn't. That was a little ticky-tack, maybe. I don't know.
Bang the drum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that means. Are you back to Elizabeth Warren's? Are you confusing what you're doing? No.
Bang the drum.
Give me some outrage.
All right, Jessica Mann, former actress. She's one of the Harvey Weinstein accusers. She gave some evidence in the case this past week, and she says that the mogul used injections before he raped her.
So, meaning people now. I saw a thing on Drudge that said that he may not have the gonads.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think this is more of an ED.
Well, the problem is he's not listening to WSB enough. Because if you've got we have Dr. Ed here. He's our erectile dysfunction staff expert.
That's not me. I'm fine. I'm just fine. It's Harvey.
I could make it better.
He kind of creeps you out, this Dr. Ed.
He's looking straight at me. I'm good, man.
He wants to make everybody wait.
Do you want a little Marmite on it or something?
No, Marmite ketchup maybe.
He asked me if he said, he said to me the other day, he says, Eric, just let me fiddle about a little bit. I'll get you going. That's the fun.
I like to fiddle.
Yeah,
and
kind of creepy.
Let me just swat you.
No, I don't want to be swatted. I don't need it. No, I don't need it. But
Eric, just let him swat.
I don't want to.
There's no. Do you use injections or not? Any injections?
No, everything.
Radiation.
Everything is.
He just
holistic.
fiddles around.
Holistic touch therapy.
But if you won't leave his office without being excited, he claims.
Is it like the Reiki, hands off, or is it hands on?
Something like that.
You know what he uses? He uses that classic scene from Fast Times at Ridgemont High. He's chasing Jared around, and this guy's 30. He's doing just fine. What are you doing? He's trying to get him to.
I like because what Jared does.
Yeah.
Jared looks good in a tight shirt.
Okay.
Dr. Ed.
Dr. Ed.
Okay.
All right.
I told you, I don't need that.
I know
now.
that you're an expert at erectile dysfunction, but you're kind of creeping everybody
Eric
out.
keeps it cold in here for a reason, man.
The headlights are on quite often.
Sure.
But he's wearing a jacket
for
today.
some chocolate kisses.
You cannot tell. He's wearing a jacket
Milk
today.
duds.
You know what? He's look at you. He's you're.
I have to dress.
That is
What's
creepy.
under there? Junior mint.
I have to dress conservatively when Dr. Ed's here.
I know. It's like you're really.
You got a Werther's original, or are you just happy to see me?
I think this is HR-able. Dr. Ed.
It's home run. That's right. It's a HR. It's a home run. This will help you get your bat in order.
You know what? I'm going to say something about this. When I'm reading about this, number one, I'm surprised that there isn't more overwhelming coverage of this trial because
it's pretty buried.
Obviously, too many people.
Court TV are
too many people were enabling this guy who would normally come out and be, in the Me Too era. So I think some of them want to sweep it under the carpet a little bit, but. And this guy is obviously a horrible human being. I'm not saying anything otherwise, but I'm wondering if the prosecution is maybe making a little bit of a mistake because I think there's a little bit of an appeal here because only 2 women, this is about 2 women, 2 allegations, and they're allowing, a lot of women who aren't alleging anything in this lawsuit to speak. And I'm just wondering if that's going to weaken. I think that I could just look at the jury and go, look at the guy. Come on. Yeah. Do you think that's going to be a guy who's going to be a player without force? I mean, I don't think they need all this, and I'm wondering if it's going to survive on appeal. But there's no doubt. It's like Cosby. You can doubt the first 40, but then by the time you get up to like 60 women, this is...
when there's
sometimes there's too much smoke to where there has to be a fire.
When there's Australian wildfire kind of smoke,
exactly. Yeah, something. There was a fire. So he's disgusting. I just wonder if the prosecution is overdoing it and could be beaten on appeal, like basically saying, this evidence shouldn't have been allowed. Because somebody like this woman, and there's going to be cross-examination, I guess, but, after all of these things happen, she admits that it was consensual for one. Then after the events that she's talking about, there's emails, calling him honey bear or whatever. Who knows? Little sweet... And it's a weird thing when you
put going on for like 3 years. I think
when we
occasions.
know that women will, are sometimes afraid to report and all that. That's understandable. But is there a line where, emails that are still being cuddly and all that kind of stuff? The jury will have to figure it out.
Well, yeah, I mean, he still did the most disgusting thing.
He's a horrible person. I mean, there's just no doubt about it. He's a horrible human being. Which, he's not necessary, because when you're that rich and you're that powerful, people will consensually put up with your...
That's right.
With your...
Well, you don't need to be a creep.
If you just treat them nicely and
show them your wallet.
Right? If you're a big, ugly beast like Weinstein and you're rich and powerful, you don't need... You just... Being rich and powerful is enough. You can actually be kind to people.
That's right.
And you will, right?
Just get an NDA that they all violate.
You can procure certain things.
Look, there are a lot of different things that are considered attractive to people.
Yeah.
The wallet is one of them.
Yes.
And if you think I'm wrong
Giant
about
building, gilded with everything. It's wonderful as well.
Could work. Yes, could work. So, although English Nick is 73, his girlfriends are always between the ages of 25 and 30.
How do you do that?
He has no money. I don't know. It's just all about. He's just got good game, right?
As the mighty Morrissey once said, this charming man.
Yeah, you're no mogul. You're successful. We wouldn't call you a mogul.
Make a bit of money here and there.
Yeah. Well, you bust your behind, so you're making money.
He's a business owner. I love him.
Yeah. There's watch out if Bernie takes over. All right, well, next story. Well, I think this Weinstein's a pig. I just wonder if the prosecution's playing it wrong. Good.
All right, comedian Nikki Glaser apologizes for body shaming Taylor Swift in the latest documentary about the singer.
This is how you know she's a comedian in 2020. I've never heard of her. Now, so I don't know if she's funny, if she's not funny. Apparently in this...
she makes a comment about her being too skinny and look at her model friends.
I cannot take Taylor Swift. Is she a good writer? And everything? This constant need to play the victim. And now, what's this called? Miss Americana is the documentary. And they told me nice girls don't speak their mind, and now I'm speaking their mind. And then they and now, so they put in there, I guess, this comedian... I'm sorry, comedian, yes. Comic.
Thank you.
Said had some joke about her that's considered body shaming. Look. There's one of the main problems of our society right now is that our comedians will not stop apologizing. It's just because someone makes a joke and it's a little bit cruel does not make it bullying. What I just said is true. Jokes always. Good jokes will always have a pointed thing, and somebody gets a little nicked.
Talk to Ricky Gervais or Larry David about that.
Yeah,
because they know how to do it.
But it's a symptom of our times that our comedians will not stop apologizing for things they've said.
Irreverent, entertaining, gut-busting, very funny, and doesn't toe any party line. I think it's a great show. The Von Haessler Doctrine on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
All right, very quickly, one more outrage, sir.
Yeah, fans of Johnny Depp want justice after they hear an audio of Johnny and Amber talking about her hitting him, slapping him.
Yeah, so this is a big
I didn't
trend.
punch you, I slapped you.
It's a trending Twitter thing, and I don't know where the audio came from, but they're arguing as couples will do.
You told me to. You said, go do that.
I said, no, tell them what just happened.
And I lied.
And that you punched me in the thing, and you
figured
in
it
the face.
out.
And you said, no, I didn't. What the are you talking about? And I watched you lie, and then
I didn't punch you, by the way. I'm sorry that I didn't hit you across the face in a proper slap, but I was hitting you. It was not punching you. Babe, you're not punched.
I feel punched.
Babe, you're not punched.
I feel punched. You punched me. You closed fist.
You told me to do it. I just didn't do it like exactly the right way, babe.
No, babe.
You punched.
You punched me, and I have an owie and a bleedy.
So now we need justice for Johnny Depp.
Yes, we do.
Yeah, I've been smacked in the face.
You've never been punched.
I wouldn't hit back.
Neither did I, but I shouldn't have to put up with this.
Shut up, Jared. We're back on the air. Hour 3 of the Von Haessler Doctrine begins right now. I realize we've gotten this far. A lot of politics, a lot of Super Bowl. Congratulations to the Chiefs fans. I'm sorry to the 49ers fans. But we have not talked about Super Bowl ads. We are really falling behind what everybody else is doing in the world. We have no reporters in diners in Iowa asking people how they like their eggs and who they'll be caucusing for. And we haven't talked about the Super Bowl ads yet. So let's get very close to rectifying, Dr. Ed, I'm not talking to you.
Yeah.
Rectifying the situation. Let's do this.
More headlines for Monday, February 3rd.
I agree with USA Today, by the way. And they declared that...
You like the pictures?
Huh?
You like the pictures?
Well, I like the fact that they were the first to do a newspaper in color. Oh. Because I'm sort of attracted to shiny metal objects.
It's digestible news.
Yeah, and when color came
in, I didn't have to go,
yeah, it's just right? I don't want to read 10 pages of something in the New York Times. USA Today can tell me that in, 3 paragraphs. So I guess they have an ad meter. USA Today has an ad meter. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's like your electric meter. I don't know how they do that. But the Jeep and Bill Murray win USA Today's ad meter with a hilarious Groundhog Day commercial. It came very late, unless they played it once earlier and I didn't see it. It came very late. And, yeah, I thought there were some pretty decent, funny commercials. Not a whole lot that made me lose it. But I would have to agree. You were on a plane. You didn't really see him.
I know. I got to enjoy him.
The Bill Murray one was really good.
Murray, yeah. The Groundhog Day
MC Hammer was funny, too, the Cheeto one.
Yeah, although I found... How old is MC Hammer? Because when he did his little walk to the left, or to the left, screen left, his age was shown. It was kind of like that weird thing in The Irishman, where they digitalized Robert De Niro's face to be like 40 or something, and he has to beat this guy up, and it's like a 40-year-old face on an 80-year-old body beating the guy up. And I got a little bit of that feeling when MC Hammer did that little thing from where he's... What was that dance?
That like shuffle.
That little shuffle thing that he did. Yeah, I was like, that's okay. That was the
sidestep.
I like the stuff that Charlie Day did with the Tide, gun.
What about the Post Malone, the Bud Light Seltzer? That was
Malone,
great.
I don't know, he puts me on. I can't watch a guy who has, still, and this is, if this ages me, then fine. That's not always a bad thing that you don't relate to the kids from the world where I come from. When people put tattoos all over their face, you consider them crazy people. So I am not past that. And then, as I was saying this off air, Jared said, yeah, but he sold out.
He is.
Then I had to step in and I guess defend Post Malone by saying, and this to me should be obvious. When I think it should be obvious to say this. When you put tattoos on your face, when you commit to that, at that point, it is impossible to sell out. Because let's say you want to be an actor at some point. Well, everybody you play and portray has to have tattoos on their face. You're really in for good. So I wouldn't say that he's sold out.
Someday we'll have a president with tattoos on his face.
Yeah. Yeah. And that'll be a guy that that he's committed.
Yeah. So his forehead will say future.
Spelled wrong, though.
Yeah.
FEWT.
F-U-T-O-U-R.
So, I don't know. Should we start with the Super Bowl ads or go back to Iowa? I don't know.
I have an answer for Iowa for you, and that is that...
why it's on Monday night?
It's always been on Monday nights.
I had a feeling that maybe it was. It just seemed...
Jamie Dupree's wonderful. He's out there covering it, and we've got all the reports here on WSB from Iowa.
And so you put it out there, and Jamie said, tell Eric, that idiot, who doesn't really know what he's talking about, and for some reason WSB gives 3 hours a day to, that it's always on Mondays.
That's right. Always on Mondays, which you learn something
It means
new.
the Boomtown Rats would never caucus.
No.
They don't like...
Yeah, I get it. Service level, I understand. Yeah.
Referencing punk rock from the early 80s. So what else you got for me?
But I guess the surprise that's going to come out of Iowa, right, is that Bernie Sanders is expected to win tonight. And everyone seems surprised by it. But the trends have been like this for the last 2 weeks.
Well, yeah, but supposedly he's showing 7-point leap. 7 points above, I guess, I would assume, Biden. My question is, this is what I think is going to happen tonight. Usually you get 3 tickets out of Iowa. Somehow Klobuchar is going to maybe take a 5th place or a 4th place and talk about energy and momentum and not drop out. I wonder how many will drop out before the next the next debate or the
debate's Friday.
Usually New Hampshire, so they won't drop out. New Hampshire's the following Tuesday, right? So they won't drop out until one more debate and then go over the weekend, see if they got any traction, probably. I don't know that frivolous candidates know when to go home anymore. It's too easy to get niche money and get just enough to keep going. And it used to be, it cost so much money that people was, all right, if I'm not in the top 3, I'm out. I get the point. But in these things, it's not voting, it's caucusing, which means you go to a gymnasium or a church or something, and they split the room up into sections. And you stand, okay, everybody that likes Bernie, go stand in the Bernie section. Everybody likes Biden. And then if you don't get 15% in any individual little precinct, then you have to go to your second choice. So it's really about Iowa tonight. If it's close, it's really about who is second choice amongst most who won't make 15%. Right?
Right.
And I've got a feeling that Bernie Sanders is not only doing well in his own right, I've got a feeling that he is second choice to a lot of the Yang, Klobuchar. Who else is still in this thing?
Tom Steyer.
Tom Steyer. Yeah, those guys.
Yeah, Mayor Pete's kind of been trending down, too.
Mayor Pete's trending down because people are realizing, hey, he's a mayor of a city of like 60,000 people or something. You know, is that going to get you ready to be president? I mean, nobody really knew who Obama was, but he did take a cup of coffee in the Senate. So he was up on the national stage at the time. So Mayor Pete looks like one of those guys who's either going to be able to write a book, make a lot of money, get his own radio show after it's over, or possibly, if a Democrat were to win, become the secretary of such and so. And then run again. He's 38 years old, 38 years old. He's got plenty
of time.
Yeah, you know, you get vetted the first time around. People feel more comfortable 4 years later because, well, he's been through the cycle. There was no scandal that was found. These kind of things.
But where does all the money? I mean, he's one of the biggest fundraisers.
He gets to keep it, right?
You get to keep it.
He gets to keep it and put it toward
future endeavor, future runs.
Or if he is, say, the third person standing, what he can do is he can talk to people behind the scenes and say, "I've got a lot of money. I can help you retire your campaign debt." This happens quite a bit. Where, okay, you like me enough, but guess what? I can toss some money your way and help you retire your campaign debt, which could help with endorsements from people who were previously in the field. What I don't understand is like a lot of Yang people apparently would go to Bernie Sanders.
He's attracting tons of independents.
It's just because it's about brand now, right?
Yeah.
It's not about policy.
You have comedians and people who were team
I think
Trump
he was a letdown. Can I tell you? I think he was a letdown. I think he showed up as a guy who was going to just speak his mind and do his thing, but then he was too casual.
Yeah.
Too casual. I'm so casual and I'm so cool that I'm not even going to put on a tie for the debates. And by the way, I don't even think that I have to have some strong moment. I'm just not playing by any rules. But at some point, I mean, Donald Trump was unorthodox, but, you know, he it was that first debate and beyond, and he never gave up first place because of how he performed in the debate, whereas Yang won't take any moment seriously enough to say, hey, if you're going to go out there and knock on doors for me, then it's on me. If they give me 1 minute or 4 minutes in a 2.5-hour debate, I got to knock it out of the park. And remember how Carly Fioroni did on the baby stage?
Yeah.
And she ended up on the top stage?
That's right.
It's like you do, as a candidate, owe it to the people who are knocking on doors and sending you money that when the spotlight shines on you, you will actually, seize the moment. Otherwise, how can I believe you? If we're going to doubt Jimmy G a little bit now because he didn't win in his moment, same thing is true with candidates.
Yeah, but Andrew Yang's chill, though. He doesn't wear a tie.
Yeah, I know.
He likes the ball cap.
You can be too chill, When you're up there when there are people who didn't make the debate stage and you're up there, then if you get 1 minute or 2 or 3 minutes and all that time, you need to be focused on, I'm going to get this message out. I'm going to get this. Instead, he was like, no, I'm Andrew Yang. I'll just respond to what people are doing. That's not. So at some point, you do have to kind of play the game, and I think that you begin to let people down. But the fact that people who are behind Yang, who is kind of, when he first started out, was kind of pushing himself as a bit of a technocrat, like somebody who understood the economy that was coming and what that was going to do to culture and what that was. And then, but so if you're attracted to that, which would have some capitalist leanings, I would think, out of Silicon Valley, a Silicon Valley version of it, like a leftist version of capitalism. But how do you go from that entrepreneurialism to socialism? Why? Because it's not about policies. It's about people. It's about brands. I think Yang is the coolest. My second coolest would be Bernie Sanders. It's kind of a weird change.
Thank you.
Yeah, good. Also, I guess they started the closing arguments on the impeachment.
Oh, that thing's still going on?
Well, it's kind of silly because on the impeachment trial, it's kind of silly because they know that he's going to be acquitted. He's doing the State of the Union tomorrow night, and then he gets acquitted on Wednesday. Just you'd think the Republicans would have tried to work on Saturday, but my understanding is that there were just procedural roadblocks that the Democrats could have put up to push it to Wednesday anyway, and they probably said, let's not mess with it.
Yeah, those amendments all have to be debated for an hour.
Yeah, I will. I don't know why Trump didn't request to put it another day, but I mean, obviously, all the best advice to Trump is just don't mention it. Just tout what you're doing well. And my guess is he's not going to take that. He's not going to take that advice.
The fake impeachment is over tomorrow.
So, we haven't really played everything we have from the Hannity sit-down with Trump, which I believe those presidential things, I'd like to know last year when that played, the CBS interview. It seems to me like it's closer to game time. I almost feel like Fox, the mothership, and Fox Sports wanted to distance themselves a little bit because Hannity is a friend of the president, obviously. Now, you have Chris Wallace and Brett Baer, who are more newsy people who probably would get the call if they were at another station, at another network, to do this interview. And I was thinking about it, what a, kind of a Homer kind of interview it is for Hannity. But, if you think about it, given that every respectable news anchor type was in love with Obama, it was really kind of the same thing when Obama was president, even though it was the Lester Holtz and I can't remember who did it for
O'Reilly
ABC.
interviewed.
But O'Reilly did it for Fox last time, and he's a friend. The question is, did Stephanopoulos do it? Who was a known Democrat operative the last time when ABC had it. I mean, Obama was there for 8 years, so he had every network probably twice. So I know to people as well, having Hannity interview, I mean, that's going to be a softball interview. But I remember was it Lester Holt who did the interview with Obama before, and they were making beer? The whole thing was drinking beer at the White House.
Here we go, Lester.
And that's when Obama said that he's the first president to make beer in the White House since George Washington. Then he had to be reminded that there was no White House. He was in Philadelphia.
Look, it was in one of those 57 states.
So, yes, it was a friendly interview, but as I thought about it, well, so was Lester Holt and, these supposed news anchors who were enamored.
He really grilled me.
Yeah? Did he ask you how you're still so special and wonderful?
He raked me over the coals.
How are you keeping the country so great, Mr. President?
Why are you still the most handsome president we've ever had? Able to get a lot of things done and also be super good looking. Well, I told him, Sean, it's very difficult, but look, I put all my efforts towards it.
So go to 8. It's about the fake news. Just make a point at the end that is, when you think of fake news, and I'm not a big fan of that, but it's not just what they report or how they report, it's what they choose not to report.
What they've done is they've really, all the media, I call it the fake news, and it is fake news, so much of it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the fake news
Stop
is
for 1 second. All of the media that I call fake news, and it is fake news, so much of it. Like all of the media to so much of it.
Nearly half is 100% fake.
What they've done is they've really, all the media, I call it the fake news, and it is fake news, so much of it. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the fake news is they don't want to report the good stuff. They don't want to report that the economy is good.
There's very little reporting on the fact that the economy is just absolutely... You know what? And you could do... We never can get to the real issues that are important. While Warren's out there saying we have to change everything about an economy that's on fire, what's the real important story that we just can't get to because reporters are so damn lazy and so into is Trump up or is Trump down? The real story is we have the best economy in 50 years, and we're still borrowing money at record numbers, and pretty soon we're going to be up to $1 trillion as our yearly deficit. If that was your credit card, that's the $1 trillion you have to pay before you actually start paying off the credit card. Basically interest. In a time when we can pretty much say we're never going to have a better economy, and yet no one's willing to tighten their belt. That's the real story, if reporters weren't so damn lazy. All right, I have things, thoughts. More audio. I don't want to leave much on the table here before I'm running out of radio time. One is, what's this guy Cowan's first name? Martin Cowan.
Oh, yeah.
Libertarian running for House Representatives.
Very critical of you.
Well, yeah. First of all, he's critical. The last letter I get from this guy, he basically says I'm a traitor to the cause of libertarianism and that I don't know what I'm doing. I'm shilling for Trump or Biden or whatever. And he really went after me, this last letter that I got from him. Basically saying, almost like a paranoid Alex Jones, you're part of the Trilateral Commission type of thing.
Council of Foreign Relations.
Yeah, then now I get a fundraising letter for, can you help me pay for the filing fee? No, you don't get to call me a traitorous to the cause of libertarianism and then send me a thing to help you get on the ballot.
Well, you know what the truth is, Eric.
What is the truth?
That is that we're told exactly what to say on this show.
That's what he was saying. Yeah, well, I understand that you're masters, you're puppet masters, but, you really ought to rethink it because you're doing harm. And now he wants... we'll be happy if you can just give us 100 or 50 or 20 or 10 or 2,800. I'm going to help him get it on the ballot. Because he calls me. It's like me calling my wife a bad name that maybe starts with the letter C, and then asking her to prepare a nice dinner. This doesn't make any sense.
You could do it in one sentence. Take care of two birds with one stone.
You can have one or the other.
Yeah. You get something off your chest, and then you get something in your belly.
That's right. It's asking for a little too much from me. All right, what is the audio we haven't done yet?
Still a lot left from the big Super Bowl sit-down with Hannity, Trump sit-down.
Yeah, okay, so we did the thing that he would love to run. The other thing where he talks about Mike Bloomberg is teeny, tiny, small.
Michael Bloomberg. Very little. I just think of little. Now he wants a box for the debates to stand on. Okay, it's okay. There's nothing wrong. You could be short. Why should he get a box to stand on, okay? He wants a box for the debates. Why should he be entitled to that? Really? Then does that mean everyone else gets a box? Why should he get a box to stand on? He wants a box.
A box? Why? I don't get it. He needs a box. What does he need a box for?
And he says he'd love to run against him.
I would love it. Cory Booker.
Yes, go ahead.
Cory Booker and all these people couldn't get any of the things that Bloomberg's getting now. I think it's very unfair for the Democrats, but I would love to run against Bloomberg. I would love it. I would love it.
Oh, yeah, I would love it a lot. I know him inside and out. Little Mike, Mini Mike.
Now, the impeachment hearing, a couple of things, pieces of audio. Go to 19 first. First of all, I love that Adam Schiff still thinks he's speaking for everyone, apparently. I'm not going to let these GOP senators off the... Because they're going to, hey, why don't we just all go home? You know he's going to be acquitted. No, I'm not going to let him off the hook.
I'm not letting the senators off the hook. We're still going to go into the Senate this week and make the case why this president needs to be removed.
Yeah. First of all, don't the senators have to be on the hook in order for you to not let them off the hook?
Well, I'm not going to let them on the hook to let them off. And when they're off and I'm on, then I'm not going to go after them. But I am.
If they were on the hook, they would have, if they felt that they were on the hook, these are senators who want to get reelected. On the hook means your constituents are going to come after you. If they felt like they were going to be on the hook for voting down witnesses, then they would have not voted down witnesses. These are cowards. They're senators. They're politicians. They're not doing anything based out of their real gut instincts or convictions. And then, now I love this. And this is what it's all about. This is just a carnival. I've said before, I can't take it seriously from either side because I believe if the same thing were happening, except the president was a Democrat, all of these players would just flip their sides. They would all be saying what the other side is saying because it's all politics. It's not based on conviction. And you see this now where we've had these arguments against all of these endless investigations that go on and on and on. And then here's Lindsey Graham basically saying, well, we're going to go investigate Biden.
We're going to get to the bottom of this, and I can prove beyond any doubt that Joe Biden's effort in the Ukraine to root out corruption was undercut because he let his son sit on the board of the most corrupt company in the Ukraine.
Again, kids, just like up to the Democrats, make some great commercials about it. Get over yourselves, put it in the hands of the American people, and simply accept their verdict and move on. Whichever way it goes. Make your damn commercials if you're on the left about how this guy is out of control and he's a danger and he's getting foreign, whatever. And if you're on the right, make the commercials about Burisma and Hunter. And here's a novel idea in 2020. Put it in the hands. It's a two-part novel idea. Both parts are necessary. Put it in the hands of the American people and then simply accept their verdict, whether it goes your way or the other way. That would take some humility, and that's not something we have a large store of in this country anymore.
Adam Schiff was on Meet the Press yesterday, and he was saying that even if because obviously it looks like Trump's going to get off and everything's going to be okay from that standpoint, but Schiff was still saying that we cannot trust him being in control.
Right, so they're going to do more investigations. There are going to be more investigations after this. They're going to call Bolton up to their own little thing. It's just going to be dueling investigations. At some point, not for nothing, the Democrats did not regain the House back in 2018 because America was enamored with AOC types. They regained the House because they said the president we got to do something about health care. Now, they got to go back in November and talk to these people that put them in powder. Some people might care about impeachment, but is there any other achievement of this Congress? You could say USMCA and they'll say we fixed it before, whatever, but people are still going to see that as a Trump initiative. What are they going to take back in November to their constituents other than we impeached the president? And that in most districts, that's not why they won the House of Representatives. I think if Democrats lose to Trump a second time, I think that they will have to do a real forensics analysis. They've been able to avoid why they lost to Trump in 2016 with this idea of, well, we didn't really lose. She won the popular vote, even though that's not how we've ever elected presidents. And he was helped by Vladimir Putin. And this has allowed them to not sit down and go, why did we lose these traditional Democrat voters? Why did 8 million Obama voters vote for Trump? If you want to win elections and fix why you lost the last one, you might want to start with, why did we lose 8 million voters who voted for Obama and then went to Trump? And they've been able to forestall that with this nonsense. But if they lose again, they're going to be forced to look in the mirror and figure it out. Jared told me that. What did you tell me? What did Trey Young tweet?
He tweeted out the eye emoji, which means something's up.
I had to ask about that. I don't know what that is.
I don't know.
But so Trey is on Twitter?
Oh, yeah.
I think I'm going to get back on Twitter now.
You should.
You're just going to follow him. That'll be the only one you follow.
Yeah, just me and that's the only one. Just one. So, what does the eyes just mean? Something's up?
Yeah, it means that there's something stirring or something brewing.
Because they're close to the deadline.
And he's watching it.
They're close to the deadline.
Yes.
So it's going to be that center from Oklahoma City or something?
That's what Peachtree Hoops is suggesting. Now, it's not confirmed. Nothing is official yet.
Yeah, it wouldn't hurt. Nothing would hurt.
They're playing much better.
Well, because you know what? I think Trey had to lose some of his... Let me tell you something about Trey Young. If you go back to those first few games, he came into this season ready to go. And I think the first 2 games, or 2 of the first 3 games, he had over 40 points and like 12. I mean, he was ready to go, and then they just lost. It's got to dampen your spirit a little bit. I think named not only to the All-Star game, but a starter. Maybe just lift the spirits. Like, okay, someone's noticing what I'm doing in this league, and that can't hurt. And they got Jeff Teague back, and he's been okay.
Yeah, they're playing much better.
And I think if this guy from Oklahoma City, I don't know. That seems to be the number. I can't remember his name. I used to know his name. I can't remember the guy's name. It's the guy with the tattoo on the
he's got the
right shoulder,
like a target. Yeah.
Anyway, but then does he have a ponytail or? He's not a man bun guy, is he? Please give me. I'll take ponytail over man bun any day. He might be a man bun. Is he a man bun guy? He might. It's somewhere between a man. It's a man tail. It's a tail bun.
Maybe he has both.
Yeah. Well, man bun is more center of the head, right?
Yeah. Well, it's just anytime they bun it up. Anytime they bun it up.
Yeah, this is definitely a bun.
Well, you know what? Look, the guy's good. It's all right. I'll take it. It's fine. I'll take it. Right at this point, I'll take the man bun. It's fine. Hey, I want people to relax.
Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height.
Can anybody tell me who that is?
Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height.
I don't recognize it.
Here's this.
Hi, this is Tim Michaels. Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height. Hi, this is Tim Michaels. You're listening to Radio Free Europe. 2 hours of the best in alternative progressive rock music. Today's featured artists: X, The Clash, Sonic Youth, and Jane's Addiction. Turn off that TV, strap yourself down, and let your consciousness grow to a new height. It's Radio Free America on 89.5.
You said 2 different names.
MU.
Yeah, I know.
You messed up there.
I sure did.
That's Tim Michael. What year is that, Tim Michaels?
That was October 1990.
Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height.
Why don't I just strap myself down? Do you think of consciousness growing as something akin to going into a mental hospital or something?
Yeah, it's the only way you can focus.
No, it was due.
Strap yourself down.
It was due, and like now, 30 years ago, it was much easier for me to...
Deep.
Is it Radio Free Europe or is it Radio Free
It was Radio Free Europe, and the first episode was about American artists.
Oh, okay.
I screwed up.
But Radio Free Europe was a real thing.
I know, it was a song.
It was also a real thing.
Yes.
The song was named after Radio Free Europe.
You should hear the PSA I did, which isn't...
Please bring it in.
Which is don't drink and drive.
Oh, wow. It's college radio?
Yeah.
Shakira liked it.
Yeah.
The turkeys liked it.
Know your listeners.
Shut up. Hey, there's another thing I noticed yesterday. You know that the top 100 football players in the NFL's 100 years, and they had everybody on the field that was in the 100 except...
What's going on, America?
O.J.
What's going on, America?
As a Bills fan, I think we only got two, and that was Bruce Smith.
What a game. That was a great game,
how come you were on the field? Were you on the field? I wondered if you were on the field. They weren't showing you.
It was great. Bruce Smith was there. A lot of guys I played with all those years ago.
Were you there? You made the top 100, but you weren't there.
Look, it was an honor to be there. I'm just saying, we had my own... I had a little party.
Yeah.
A bunch of friends of mine.
You couldn't make it. You got a Super Bowl party.
It's weird whenever I throw these parties, these football. None of the wives will talk to me. If, their husbands leave the room, they all follow them out and leave me in the kitchen alone.
There's only two Bills, I think, that were alive anyway. I think there was only two Bills anyway. Bruce Smith was there.
Yeah. You know who else was there? Ray.
Ray.
Don't call me Ray.
From Buckhead,
What's going on, America?
Ray Lewis. Yeah, well, he played for a lot more years.
Why should he be there?
Well, why weren't you there?
I was busy.
Were you invited? They could have not invited you if you were on.
They told me I could come, but look, let me tell you this: I am on parole. And the conditions of my parole are that I can't just up and leave Las Vegas and go to Florida unless I'm going to see family.
Now, I'm sure you could have gotten a waiver for this. You would have been on camera. They would have seen that you were there.
I'm just saying.
I think it's, is it parole or probation you're on? What are you on at this point?
Well, I'm on probation and parole.
What's going on, America?
So I opted to play golf and watch the game. Boy, Patrick Mahomes just lights it up.
Yeah, you like him. It's just the way they blew past O.J. Simpson. You got like a quarter of a nanosecond of O.J. running in that whole film. They just, woo!
And you didn't see my name on the jersey. But look, there were so many good players there. Mm-hmm. Jim Brown, my guy.
You picked the 49ers, though, right? Were you upset about that?
No, I wanted the 49ers because that's where I'm from, Jared.
Yeah. And he played for the 49ers this last year. My favorite part of the Super Bowl ceremony, beginning to end, was Shakira's turkey call. Of course, a lot of turkeys answered it, and they took a while to clear the field the second half, but that's show business right there. Remember that halftime theme? We have to let the little girls out of the cages so they can grow up and be empowered strippers.
Dang, J-Lo. Wow.
Like that, OJ, huh?
Whoa, I'm just saying.
All right, we're done for today. We'll be back tomorrow, but we're not done. If you want to watch us do the Podcast 30, go to the Von Haessler Doctrine Facebook page or the WSB Radio Facebook page. Click on the red box. Voila, you're watching us do the Podcast 30. Thanks for listening to the Von Haessler Doctrine podcast. Remember, you can hear the show every weekday from 9 to noon right here on 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk. Orangutan. Hey, the Podcast 30 must be beginning. That crappy music says it's time for the Podcast 30.
Yeah.
Tim Anders is here.
Tim Michaels, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Tim Michaels is there.
Tim Michaels.
It's
J-Rad.
Michaels.
J-Rad rocking the tunes. Autumn Fisher. Is English Nick going to join us?
I think he's coming in, but in Tim's thing, I didn't hear any accent at all.
Well, he's trying to sound like somebody else.
Yeah, it's fake.
Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
Michael. Was that your way of doing it? Michaels every time?
This is Tim Michael.
Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
Yeah.
Hey, big fella, it's Tim Michaels.
Yeah. Strap yourself down and let your consciousness
strap
grow
yourself
to a new
down.
height.
First of all, I think it's difficult to strap yourself down.
I don't know.
Because you can get the one strap, but
then
how
do you get the other one?
Because your arm, one hand is...
You got to have your friend do your second arm.
Okay, but
let your friend strap you down so you can listen to this.
Have you heard this?
What's this?
This is Tim Michaels in 1990.
Who is Tim Michaels?
Well, you're sitting right next to him. College radio.
Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
Hang on. Go back just that first part.
This is Tim Michaels.
Michaels.
Tim Michaels.
Tim
All right,
Michaels.
here we go.
Strap yourself down. Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height.
So why do you, that's a weird thing, strapping
Strap yourself
down.
in. I hear
Put
that.
a ball gag in your mouth and shut up and listen to this
mind-altering
Jane's
that's right.
addiction.
Be
Come up
prepared.
come up and see me sometime.
Yeah.
How old are you in there? Probably
19.
Gonna lube you up with some 90s alternative.
Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
Yeah.
What year was it?
1990. October 1990.
Hi.
Here's some Black Crowes. New album came out last year.
I was one of the first program directors in the country in a college station to add them.
Wait a minute. Tim Michaels was the program director?
Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
Tim Andrews was the program director.
Oh, Tim Michaels worked for Tim Andrews.
Yeah.
Did you have a conference with Big Rig before he changed his name?
No.
You can't be Ron Michaels. You got to change your name to Big Rig. That guy from Florida.
Big Rig?
He used to do
That's a
96
name
Rock.
from the past?
Yeah.
Big Rig.
But his real name is Ron
I
Michaels.
used to call him Dump Truck.
Was his real name Ron Michaels? Or was that his radio name
Hey,
before
Ron
he went
Michaels,
for Big
I
Rig?
don't know.
Rig.
I don't know.
Because Ron
Good
Michaels
point.
sound. Everybody was Michaels for a while on
Tim
radio.
Michaels.
Randy
coming
Michaels.
at you.
Hey, Jim Michaels. Tim Michaels.
Randy.
And then
Randy
I was
Michaels.
Tim
Jared
O'Connor
Michaels.
on WNBT.
What?
That was Tim Michaels on WNBT. That was a real station.
WNBT.
Now, I have a question though, Tim.
Yes.
Did Tim Michaels get along with Tim Andrews?
Yes, they got along fairly well. They were both really good at taking CDs from the radio station.
Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height.
Yeah, good.
Oh, yeah.
We have to stop this George Bush.
Were you a voice guy at that point?
Yeah. What?
Did you realize you could do voices at that point? Like
Yeah,
impressions?
but I didn't do them. I didn't try to be funny in college. Right? Jeff Lieboff and I did a TV trivia show, and we would do goofy stuff and stuff like that. No, I didn't. I just did.
Hey, what you got for me, sexy boy?
Hey.
You want to know what I sounded like? And my real voice was this. This was, hey, it's Tim Andrews, and you're listening to TV Trivia with Tim and Jeff on
It's Timmy Andrews.
XMU.
Wow. I want to hear some of that as well.
I have that.
Did you have people call up and answer trivia questions, or did you just give trivia?
It was TV trivia.
It was kind
We
of
had people call
labyrinth
in.
before the labyrinth.
Well, we grew up. There was a guy
Have
named.
you guys ever done anything apart?
Well,
You went to college together?
Yeah.
You went to
Lost your
kindergarten
virginity
together?
We did not go to kindergarten together. I went to
thought you-
kindergarten in New York.
I thought you met in like the first grade or something.
I met
High-fived
him
each other.
in second grade. We didn't become friends till fourth.
Oh, okay. And then you've been
1979.
together ever since.
We have. And now we can get married if we wish.
Yeah,
But
sure.
Bigamy is
You should-
illegal.
Yeah.
You played the long game.
Unfortunately, you already,
Yeah.
you didn't wait long enough.
I moved here. He moved here.
Yeah, he follows you here.
He loves you.
Yeah,
He
now you
loves
guys
you.
do Radio Labyrinth
That's
together,
right.
which is really kind of a trivia. A pop culture.
Trivial? Are you saying it's
No,
trivial?
I didn't say it was trivial.
That's what he said.
Are you
No, I didn't
saying?
say that.
Are you saying our guest
Hey.
this week, noted author Nathan Rabin, who wrote
No.
2 books about Weird Al Yankovic
Of
and his
course.
personal friends with Weird Al
That's
Yankovic?
not trivial at all.
It's trivial.
It's very important.
That's important stuff.
Who wrote
very
a
important.
compendium to each and the. It is the annotated Weird Al book. It's
Absolutely.
called The Weird Accordion to Al.
No,
You're saying that's trivial?
No. That is the definition of substance. I am not saying that at
started
all.
It really is
started
if you're
it,
into
Eric.
Weird Al.
No, Weird Al
Strap
substance.
yourself down.
Yeah, you know what? I'm
Strap
going to
yourself
strap myself down.
and
Did you
listen
mean to say?
Weird Al.
Did
Strap
you
yourself
mean to
in.
say strap yourself in, and it's not strap yourself?
I don't
in?
know what I
I
meant.
think that's what
Say
we
strap yourself in.
Odds are I was high.
Yeah.
And
I don't get that out of this.
Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
yeah.
Michaels.
And I did a fake.
Hi.
I did a commercial. You had to do a commercial for a product also.
But this
And-
was college radio, so that was just done as an assignment, right?
No,
That's right.
I did kill 2 birds with 1 stone. I used my
I got an A.
my
see?
radio show to do part of the production,
Oh.
and the professor didn't know. So it was very
Professor didn't know. Kept it on the quiet.
I feel like Tim Michaels could get a job being a strip
Tim
club
Michaels
DJ
did get a
at
job.
Swinging Richards.
Tim Michaels got a job at Q
He's
something or
number
other
one,
in
his
Binghamton, New York.
Could you
got
bring-
good pipes. That's what the DJ said.
You got good pipes,
You got
kid.
good pipes, kid.
Hey.
You got good
Can
pipes.
I ever use my pipes? No.
Yeah.
You just had to play these songs and play these commercials.
You got good pipes, see?
Hey, come on up here, kid.
I'm going to be your muse.
actually,
That's
I
how
had my-
I talk, and now you're going to copy me, see?
My pipes run too much. I don't have good pipes.
Put your
You have good
records.
pipes.
see?
No. Down. They always
Yeah.
fail me. You know.
45.
They leak.
Oh.
Tim Michaels or
my
Tim
pipes
Andrews?
have all kinds
Tim
of
Andrews has horrible pipes. Tim Michaels, he keeps it. Hey, I'll
Tim
never crap my
Michaels.
pants on the
Oh, look,
street.
Jack.
Strap yourself down.
Strap
and let your
yourself down on the
consciousness grow
toilet
to a new
after
height.
America.
I would.
Tim Michaels never crapped in the road.
I feel like I could hear the half-lidded eye when he's talking, right? It's like,
hi, this is Tim Michael.
Oh, he's tiny.
Yeah.
I want to hear Clive Cliverson and Tim Michaels have a bit of an air check session. That would be pretty cool.
Actually, now you're talking about the.
yeah.
Now I get it. It's 1990, and you're talking about X. Not a lot of people know who X are. Maybe back then, but Jane's Addiction hadn't really broken yet. I mean, I just, it should be.
It's not about you.
Nirvana wasn't big yet.
First thing you have to teach these DJs is it's not about them.
No, yeah. No,
it's not just
shut
because
up.
you like this.
Shut up.
Shut up.
Less is more.
Yeah, less.
Shut
Hey,
up.
it's less more.
Yeah.
I'm less is more.
Less is more. My favorite.
Hang on, who's less and who's more?
I love the whole concept of less is more, which also means we also can pay you less because you're not doing more.
Yeah.
Works out for everybody.
Talk for 5 seconds, 10 seconds stops, get out.
Works for everybody except the audience.
See, we need more.
More
Everyone
is
in
less.
this country needs to know who we are.
More is less.
More is more.
It's like a Billy Idol song. More, more, and more.
More is some.
More is some.
Some is more too.
Morrissey.
Yeah. Oh, take me out tonight.
You want to hear Morrissey? Listen to the Tim Michaels show.
Did you guys used to? Oh, wow.
Tim
Right,
Michaels.
before you play Morrissey, I have to
Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height.
And later on in that tape, there's an AIDS PSA, and it plays, and I go,
For the candy.
yeah, you gotta take care of yourself out there.
Well, that's right. There's nothing.
That's very sweet. Thank you,
nothing
Timmy
wrong.
Michaels.
That was my response.
Yeah, I heard Timmy Michaels
Take care of
say
yourself
it.
out
So
there.
you know what? I'm gonna take care. You know what? I'm gonna wear a rubber now. I heard Timmy Michaels say, "Take care of yourself."
Timmy
And I
Michaels
don't
did.
just mean out in the rain.
He said, "Strap one on."
Yeah.
There were
take care
couples
of
having
yourself.
conversations about Tim Michaels right before they got down to it.
Yeah, you know my favorite DJ.
Hey, wait,
Hey,
Timmy
listen.
Michaels.
I played Games Without Frontiers for a guy once, and he called me back after he played. He goes, "Thanks, man. It worked."
It worked.
Yes.
How long's that song? Like 4 minutes?
It worked.
Got her in the mood.
What
Games Without
woman?
Frontiers.
What woman? And I love Peter Gabriel.
I love that song. But I don't think about it in that context.
I'm telling you, he called me up. He goes, "Hey, dude,
Games.
my girlfriend, I can get laid if I hear Games Without Frontiers."
What?
Because you didn't.
That was a
If you didn't have the
simpler time.
record with you, then
I know, but what woman gets turned on by Games Without
I didn't
Frontiers?
ask. I said, "Sure, I'll play the song."
You're
I
kind
wasn't
It
getting
is
laid, but I played the song for him.
Jean Sans Frontières.
That's what I said.
You said she.
G.
I used to always say
G.
she's so wonderful.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, I said popular.
Yeah,
Popular.
Tim
I thought the
Mangers
same
will
thing.
get you. Tim Michaels will get you laid.
Hey.
Hi. This is,
We had a mellow show
this
that
is
was
what got
on.
her going.
Hi, this is Tim Michael.
And
We
here
had a
comes-
show at night every night. We're different DJs every night, but it was called the Mellow Show.
Hey.
Is that the one you were on that
I
night?
did one Mellow Show, yeah.
But that wasn't this one.
I did a morning show too
Strap
for
it on and
3 days a week.
relax.
Well, you did a morning show. Was that crazy? How much like Howard Stern did you try to be?
Not at all. I would play music and read the news and weather.
Oh, I want to hear that.
I don't have
In the
air checks
news
for that.
today, did you actually have the newspaper like in front of you?
No, I cut it out of the newspaper and matted it to paper and read it off of
That's
there.
how we used to
what
do
if-
it.
what
That's
if-
how when I was a producer. That's what I used to. That's what I used to do.
And I'd call the weather hotline and record it onto reel-to-reel from the microphone.
Hey, what if the guy?
Oh.
What if the guy who called for the XTC song was either called Hans or Willie, and his girlfriend was either called Jane or Lottie?
Then that would
Hans
be.
plays with Lottie. Jane plays with Willie.
Brit.
Just
Oh,
doesn't seem
Suki
like,
plays with Leo.
doesn't seem like
Leo
a
plays
romantic
records.
song to me.
Adolf builds a bonfire.
Worked for him.
Hey man, if you could
And
play that
Leo.
song about how man's inhumanity toward man, really, that gets my girlfriend going.
What's the name of the
Yeah,
song
and then
again?
we ended with
It's
Sledgehammer.
Games Without Frontiers.
You've never heard Games Out from
So,
I'm sure I
question.
have.
I never thought about this, but is he saying that Adolf Hitler was gay in this song?
No, he's not.
Because Adolf builds a bonfire and Enrico plays with it.
I don't think he's necessarily.
Everybody else is
I don't
in a
think he's
heterosexual
not,
situation.
He's not referencing.
There's more
Adolf
than one
Hitler.
Adolf in the world.
I
Yeah.
get
Yeah, it's just
that.
friend. It's friend
Just
Adolf.
wondering.
It's
only-
just talking about how children's playing
This
is
is it, right?
much like.
Yeah.
Hey, you never heard this song?
I don't think so.
We only play it once
No,
every 3 years on the
Jared.
river.
Come on, Jared.
She's so funky, yeah.
Oh, he's watching him.
Jane plays with Willie.
Willie's happy again. Oh, so that's it.
He plays with Leo.
Sasha plays with
Brit.
Adolf builds a bonfire. Enrico plays with it.
Whistle.
Start whistling. They're whistling tunes. as she hide in the dunes on the seaside.
This makes
in the
me
jungle.
so sad that I can't sing with it. I'm on a delay.
Whistling tunes, we pissing balloons in the jungle. It's a knockout.
I'm a good whistler.
You've never heard this chorus coming right here?
Kill they probably will in games without frontiers, war without tears.
So that gets you going, that line. If looks could kill, they probably will in games without frontiers.
Oh, yeah, honey.
War without tears.
Oh my God, no tears.
Games without frontiers.
Yeah, war.
And this is a great musical passage here.
Oh, I'm done.
Wait, I'm not done.
I am.
Keep going.
Hey, thanks, dude.
Sans frontières.
All right,
Wake
we're
up.
in trouble.
Tell you,
Get
man,
off
one
me.
of the best
Get off
pieces
of
of
me.
Wait,
recorded
hold on,
music
hold on.
of
They're
all
making
time.
love. Hold on.
Get off of me. I wasn't finished.
Oh, yeah, I
Damn
gotta
you,
call
Tim
Tim
Michaels.
Michaels back and thank him for.
I'm going to call Tim Michaels and see what he's up to.
You have the same problem.
Hi, this is Tim Michael.
Although I did have a lot of sex in that radio station.
Michael.
Did you have sex
In
in
the
your
station?
college station?
Not
Yeah, I had an
in
office.
the station itself.
I used to
But
sit
in the
parking
hallway
lot.
in front of the
Jared.
station.
No,
Not in the station, but more like in my house.
Up against the wall.
A mile
of the
away.
station.
no, there were some.
You hooked up with people at the station, but you didn't
Yes,
do it
but never
there.
in the station
okay.
itself.
Lord, it must have been
Oh.
what a mess.
There was a lot
What
of.
is your definition of hooked up?
Well, you know, making out, kissing.
Yeah, there was some
Anything
of that.
going inside anywhere
No,
else?
listen,
Yeah, there was some of that.
hey, young
what
lady.
the hell?
Hey, that was a very
That is
clean
a
way of
very
asking a question.
personal question.
The answer
number
is
one.
yes, Autumn.
Gross.
Jared lost his
Check your
virginity
butt, Jared. Check your butt.
at the age of, I believe, 16 or 17, somewhere in there, right?
No, it's 15.
15.
This is
It was
you
the
a Jagger?
girl who lived across the street.
I'm sure it was great.
Which
Am I
on
wrong?
mine?
Yeah,
No,
didn't you tell us the girl lived across the street?
No,
It was a
wasn't.
girl that you went to school with.
Well, okay, so the.
It was a girl who lived on the street.
The girl I was
she did live
babysitting.
on
It was
the
a
street.
girl.
In
Jared
Canada.
Baby
She
Sire.
went to a Catholic high school.
How old
She
was
was
this
a
girl?
year older than me.
Oh, okay.
Will you
I
come
was
and help me
seduced,
hem my
okay?
skirt? It's too long.
Oh,
was
no, I like that.
seduced.
I like that. I like that. She taught him all the things she's not supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Joel.
How,
Listen, she is married
how
now.
old was she? at the
She
time?
was
14.
She had to have been almost 17, 16. She was a year, 2 grades above me, a year and a half older than me. And I remember, and I was 15.
I was 15 when I lost mine. Almost 16.
She's only 15.
15.
Daddy says she's too young.
English Nick was 21.
I
But
was.
he's made up for the
There was some
time.
fumblings.
15.
There was some fumblings.
She's
but
beautiful and she's my neighbor.
yeah. Tim, do an impression of 15-year-old Jared doing it for the first time.
So, you're 15. Let's do it.
Hey,
Not tell anyone.
You know
My
what the best
favorite,
part?
my favorite is Greg Russ, who planned it out with his prom date or whatever.
Planned
So,
it out.
Planned okay, we're going to go to a hotel and we're going to both have sex for the first
Strategic.
time.
Well, when two people are virgins, that makes sense.
No, it makes. But I mean, in retrospect, that seems like the way to do it.
Yeah.
But I can't imagine having the wherewithal to actually.
Don't look at my nose.
Okay, I'm going to plan it out and.
Tim. Keep talking about it.
He was very embarrassed about his nose in high school.
Yeah,
He
don't look at my
broke it.
nose.
Who Greg was?
Yeah,
Yes.
Greg broke his nose
No,
trying
he's-
to change his
Remember
nose.
the other day where he was saying it was a complicated birth, and I said because his nose got caught in the birth canal. He got,
Yeah, man.
I know, but I was kidding.
Hey, happy belated birthday to Greg Russ.
Greg
yesterday.
Russ?
Yeah.
And Caroline Parsons.
Oh,
old man
Caroline
now.
Parsons.
And Ian Weber, my British friend in Nashville, and Jeremy Dawson, my second ever guitar player when I started
And,
playing.
Why
in
and
Dallas.
Peter Fisher.
Yes, Peter Fisher.
And Ian,
Pete.
right?
What
Ian's
about
birthday?
both of my sons, whose
Yeah.
birthdays are the 1st and the
Hey,
7th?
Well, not the second, are they? We're talking about one day.
Actually, one is the second.
Who's the
No.
first? The youngest or the
Greg
oldest?
Ian's
Russ
the
is the
second.
Greg Russ is the second.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, Ian's the first. Greg's the second.
first.
My 3 sons. Ian's the first. Greg Russ is the second, and my old
What about
Nicholas
your
is
daughter,
the
Autumn
7th.
Fisher? When's her birthday?
Yeah, when's my
With
birthday?
the daughter I never wanted.
Yeah.
Fool.
Do I know Autumn's birthday? Is it in April?
No,
No.
you know her birthday.
Is it in
Even I know it.
August?
No.
Is it in January?
You're getting.
Is it in
you'll
February?
get it
December.
eventually.
Is it February or
It has
March?
a J in it.
Is there a day in
Hang
it?
on, is he got
Is there a
money?
day in it?
Is there a number? Is there
Yes,
a
it's
number
a 2-digit
associated?
number.
Is it in
Okay,
our, is
all
it
right,
in our
all right.
year,
She was
our
born-
calendar year?
10th beyond or beyond?
June.
Okay.
It's in June.
June 14th. June Cleaver.
Close. June.
June-
Yes, that's it.
June Bug.
Ward.
Yeah, June Cleaver.
When is your birthday?
June 10th, 1982.
That's it. I was close. I said June Cleaver.
Yeah, you said April, and then you said February.
And now
and
you
said...
find yourself in 82.
I didn't do something stupid like, say, November.
You're right.
Come on.
Sorry. I don't mean to put you. You're right.
I was within 4 or 5 months.
Credit where credit is due.
You're May.
I'm May 26th.
I don't know when Jared's September.
Jared's March, I think.
March.
But it just happened.
Keep guessing.
It's a month.
It's
a month.
It's a month.
Is it? We
Ends
already
in a
happened.
Y.
Did it happen already?
Nope.
No. We're just very. What's a brand
It
new?
never
year?
happened?
No. It's
it has happened.
July.
Just not this year.
July.
Nope.
August.
Nope.
September.
Nope.
October.
Nope.
November.
Nope.
December.
Nope.
January.
It's February.
Yep.
Oh, okay. It's coming up then.
Yeah.
What's the date?
The 22nd.
Oh, we got plenty of time.
George Washington.
January, February,
George Washington's
March,
birthday.
and April.
0222. It won't be a palindrome.
Oh,
Palindrome.
I want to bring this up.
That was
Palindrome.
You know
Oh,
what? It pissed me off that was a Sunday. Number one, Groundhog's Day. You can just phone it in on radio. Hey, Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Number two,
you
Super
play
Bowl.
the Sonny and Cher song. Well, Super Bowl's always on Sunday, but we get that palindrome date
Yes.
once since
996 some
996 years, and we're not on the air. 02
2020.
2020.
Same
2020
backwards as it is
canceled
forwards.
already.
You can't even have fun with it. I got to wait 900 some odd years.
Well, you could have talked
We
about
got to
it
keep
before,
doing the
it's all
show for that long.
Better
Good
technology.
You know what? You're right. You know what? It's a chip on my
right.
shoulder.
The next time will be what? 03, 03,
If
30?
Noah can do it,
30?
you can
Yeah.
do it. Right?
Noah.
Yeah.
Who's Noah?
Noah, he lived to be 900.
That's true. And you know what?
Noah of the Ark, Noah.
Yeah, Noah of
Yeah.
the Ark was like 900 and some
He's
odd
mostly
years.
known
Some
for
change.
his ark work.
It's
Yeah.
because he saved all those animals.
Well, he was a hell of a carpenter.
Sure.
Do you
I
know,
mean,
let's
listen,
not-
to build something like
Please.
that, that
Oh,
is
man.
no
Please.
easy feat.
Nobody knew his way around the cubit
Woo!
like Noah.
He was a good man with a lathe.
He knew exactly how many cubits that thing needed to be.
He knew what a cubit was.
He knew exactly. What's
We don't know.
cubits to
What is
dollars?
a cubit? I don't know.
I know a
It's bit of
Cupid.
cube. It's a bit of a
It's
cube.
a stone.
What is that? A DJ?
No, Cupid. Sabrina.
Oh, Cupid. Oh, Cupid. You're right. Yeah. You know what I noticed this morning when I woke up? It's funny how we jump from one thing to the next already. So the Super Bowl's behind us. So the first Valentine's thing of what men and women and how who would do a thing and up and and then we'll go from that to what? Easter?
Yep.
No, St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, for the Christmas of this guy.
I love St.
You know,
Patrick's Day.
if you could create an EDM festival that was on St. Patrick's Day, this guy would never. He would just die there.
I don't
He
know
would
if that
just-
will work though because they don't buy the alcohol at the EDM. They're on the drugs. They don't worry about the alcohol. So,
yeah.
so Guinness could
Well,
not.
they'll take green acid.
Guinness could not like hallmark that.
They'll take green ecstasy.
That's appropriate.
Guinness jello shots.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just get 4-leaf clovers of whatever it is, whatever substance you're taking.
How about some Lucky Charms blotter acid?
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You know, I was thinking it was like last night watching all those booties shaking around at a halftime
Hell
show. I was
yeah,
like,
beautiful.
I wonder if anybody's farting.
Of course they are.
That's
Of
what
course
I
they are.
in my life.
Those are not for you, Eric. Those are
I know,
empowered
I
women,
know.
and
They're for
they
them.
can dance as much as they want,
Yeah.
but you are not to look at that.
I
I
wonder
know.
what they did with the wardrobes after.
Dr. Ed, please.
Because I can collect
That's
some
how,
of
that's how
that.
he gauges how healthy they are.
Get that musk out.
Yeah,
of there.
Dr. Ed. What do you
He's
go?
so
You
creepy.
take that and then he puts that in his potions.
Squeeze it.
All right, Dr. Ed. Thank God for not saying that on the radio.
Huh?
Well, what you do is when they take those temporary stages away, you just mop up the stages afterwards, and then bring it
you
into
do
a,
that.
bring it into a can.
They won't let me around those things.
Of
anymore.
course they don't.
Yeah, he has a whole restraining order situation.
I'm sure there was a time where a lot of NFL players needed your help. You know.
Yeah, they
Probably
still do.
do.
I swat them.
Think they're going to do anything interesting? We've seen what the Hawks are going to do yet? What the hell's Trey talking about?
I'm watching it.
He's got his eyes on me.
Maybe.
Oh man, I gotta say, I don't usually watch TV Saturday night, but I was in and the show The Jump was on. That's on before the NBA game.
Yeah.
And it was the Celtics against the 76ers.
Yeah. The
And-
Jump is the redhead.
Yeah, and she has
she's been around.
not Steven, Jalen's on there.
Jalen Rose.
Another ex-player.
Yeah.
And then
There's always like somebody.
Man,
Scottie Pippen
it
shows
was
up on there.
so hard to watch those guys Saturday night because that was the first show
the
since
Kobe.
Kobe's
They all knew him.
memorial was Saturday.
Yeah.
At
And
Staples
they'd all been
Center,
there.
and it was insane.
No,
man.
it's tough,
It was
man.
insane.
It's tough. I thought the NFL was going to do more of a thing for Kobe.
What
They
did
didn't
they do?
really
I
do
didn't
anything.
really
They just
see
did
the
the
early part.
moment of silence.
They did more for that female coach who lost.
Oh, shut.
It's a commercial for Microsoft.
No. The
Katie
real
Sowers?
Yeah, Katie Showers.
I know.
I like that commercial.
Right?
I think it's great.
Katie Sowers.
I think it's
But
great
I mean,
that she followed her passion and
was
did
the
that.
Microsoft commercial.
I know, but she was a coach in the game last
I know,
night.
but I mean, I don't think the NFL did anything around
I
it.
think
that
it was a
commercial's been
conspiracy.
airing for a couple of weeks. That commercial's been airing for a couple of weeks.
He can't handle.
Wait,
I mean, he really is one of these guys that does feel threatened by all this.
Not threatened.
You bring people like me down because I'm just an objective person saying, quit slapping me in the face. This guy genuinely feels threatened.
I feel like if she's the best person for the job, then good for her for having it. That's what I feel like.
me too.
Who cares? Who cares?
I think what Tim saw was right, though. It was in the pregame. It was a PSA for her about getting women involved in the game. It wasn't.
No, that's the Microsoft
No, that
ad.
was a secret commercial.
That's the Microsoft
There's a commercial
ad.
where she's got the tablet and she talks about her growing up as
And
a kid.
she's saying, I don't want to be the first. Yeah, that's
And
I've
her
seen it
daughter,
before.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
who cares? By the way, she's a position, I believe she's a defensive, I don't know what. And by the way, the team that she's coaching on made it to the Super Bowl. And so,
Had a
I
great
mean, she's
season.
not hurting them.
No, they
She's
lost.
not hurting them.
If that had been a man, they might have lost. They might have won.
Yeah, maybe.
my God.
Maybe.
No, that one commercial for Secret, where anybody could, the you don't know if it's a guy or a girl, and then the kick goes through the uprights, and it's a girl.
right, yes, okay.
And their slogan used to be strong enough for a man, but made for a woman.
Yeah, but they're breaking that down now because there's the gender fluidity that's going on. You got to roll with it, man.
Like
you really have
band?
to get over being angry about it.
I'm not
or
angry.
personally
I just
affronted.
think it's funny.
Yeah, you're a little personally affronted.
I think it's fun. I'm affronted that you can't
I'm
talk
talking,
about it.
I'm talking to them about the halftime. I didn't watch that.
I didn't. I wasn't interested.
Why? Why wouldn't you just watch it?
It's on.
Just because you're on the radio and 100 million people are watching it. Why?
Because I can watch I can watch it on Twitter.
I gotta watch a guy rapping Spanish. I usually saw Archie Bunker.
If there had been a wardrobe malfunction, that would have been on Twitter
First
immediately.
Of all, since when
the turkey
isn't,
thing?
When isn't Latin music cool?
I didn't say it wasn't.
All right. Well,
I like Tito Puente.
Well, he wasn't going to be up there alone. Tito Puente on his little.
Certainly more entertaining than two strippers.
I feel like Tito Puente
not
was
strippers.
actually. I really feel like Tito Puente actually was part of a halftime Super Bowl once.
Probably was. Carol Channing did the first one. I
My
would
wife
have rather
looked it
watched
up.
that.
My wife did it up.
My hips don't lie. My hips don't lie.
Is that on YouTube? Anyways, I would
don't
love
know.
to see it. I remember before they started doing good halftime shows. At one point, there was something like 500 Elvis impersonators or something. Didn't they get off a UFO?
Yes.
Yeah.
This was in Miami.
It was fun. It was entertainment. It wasn't
It was
a
a
message.
bunch. What's the message? Someone thought there was a message here. It was still
kids
the
in
message
cages.
was the guy.
I don't believe that. I think that was just your son's interpretation of
No,
something.
that's
I don't
what it
think that
was. That's
Yeah,
what it
they
was.
were in cages.
It was artistically done, but that's what it was.
Yeah.
But so I didn't care. It was artistically done, and I got the message. We have to let these little girls out of these cages so they can grow up and become empowered strippers. I think that's a fine message. It is kind of weird. It's kind of weird. It is kind of weird that it's all TNA and then
Can I just
and then-
say-
hold on. It's weird that it's all TNA and then a choir of children
ya.
show up.
Yes, I agree.
That was weird.
Rather that than Michael Jackson bring up kids when he did it. He had a whole. He had like
a few kids up there
100
too.
kids up there.
That was
Here's the
entourage.
thing. Look, J-Lo spent all that time training for that terrible Hustler movie that never did
Yeah.
a damn thing. That she wanted to put that to good use,
Yeah.
so
That's
she
what
could
I
show us she
said.
could write a poll.
And also, nobody knows her song. What, Jenny on the Block? What's her
No,
big
there's
hit?
if you
She's
want
got
to
a
get
couple.
nasty, you know.
Yeah,
No, no, no,
everyone
no. And then
knows
the
that one.
waiting for tonight.
Just
Well,
'cause
the
you don't
dance,
know.
like my wife knows it because she dances. So that's a good one to dance
Your
to.
wife
in
got the
clubs.
pole in the bedroom? The pole dancing classes?
Pole?
That poll is mine. You know what? You need to look
just
at your
asking.
gender.
I'm just
That's
asking.
mine.
'Cause you said
just
she
because-
does
I get,
dances.
but what I don't understand
Some
is
women do
why
pole
would you
dancing,
assume,
dancing
Why would
classes.
you assume that a pole in my bedroom belongs to my wife? It's mine.
Oh.
That's right. She
You
sits
might,
back,
you might have installed
legs akimbo.
I
said
put
it
on the
was
show.
fine.
You might have installed that pole, but
I
she
put on the
dances
show.
it.
I installed the pole already.
Well, that's good.
As Dr. Ed.
How do you
please, I
think
don't
he's
need you.
losing all this weight?
A lot
That's what it is.
of installation work.
Doing
You
a
get,
lot of
hey, I
polling.
tell you what, you get any skinnier, your body will be the pole, mate.
Burying.
Forget the other pole.
Me
What,
too,
now-
you guys. Me too.
How much have you lost, Superior Michigan lady?
7 pounds.
Uh-oh. She jumped out to 6. Now it's been 1.
You know, there are people in the 2+2=4 group that want to jump in on this too. They want to know y'all's Fitbit username, so that way they can follow along and
I'm
play
Auto
along
Prince.
as well.
A-U-T-O-P-R.
I don't even know how to do it.
Shh.
I don't even really know how to.
Shushed.
Shh.
Okay.
A-U-T.
You can follow her if you want. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
A-U-T-O-P-R-I-T-T-S.
There we go.
Strap in.
Yeah, strap yourself down.
Strap yourself down.
That was actually that was his first line in the bedroom.
Strap yourself down.
See, no, play that. Say,
what, are you too
strap
lazy?
yourself down, and then say, ow.
Oh, he's got the ow. We'd have to. This has to be
Okay,
a joke.
coordinate.
Strap yourself
No,
down.
Jared.
Jared.
Strap yourself down and let your consciousness grow to a new height. Hi, this is Tim Michaels.
Your consciousness is growing.
I think
that's not just your consciousness growing, right, Dr. Ed?
That's not.
next time Erich Von Haessler takes a vacation or a day off, Tim Michaels should fill in, I think.
He wants a box.
He wants a box.
When you're
That
famous,
is interesting that
you
he
can
wants
grab
that
'em.
box, that Bloomberg really does want that box.
I think
Because if you, 5'8" isn't that short, but when you're talking about people who are 6 feet, 6'3", standing behind a podium and having to be lined up with them, you are going to look really small.
Why should he get a box to stand on?
Just aesthetically. But listen, it's just like Roosevelt, right? Like people didn't report that he was in a wheelchair because it would
they should have put him on a
undermine
box.
his authority. You know what I mean? So give him a box.
I want to be in a box.
And the fact that Trump even wants to comment on that is funny to me.
Yeah, boxing Helena.
Worry about the real issues,
The
mate.
people deserve to know if their president is a cripple.
I would love it.
Well, I'm not a cripple.
He wants a box. He wants a box.
Oh, we didn't do the Biden thing today where Biden was like, what, you want a box?
Oh, yeah, we got tomorrow.
He's a man on the box.
It's the other song. Living in the box, living in the cardboard box.
Guy wants a box.
Yeah.
Buried in my...
He is not 6'3". He's too short to
run.
debate me.
Strap yourself down.
Debate me.
Well, he's standing in a box, standing on a cardboard box,
That's what I'm saying,
standing
yeah.
on a box.
Standing in a box. Standing in a box.
By the band
He's
Living
too
in a
short.
Box.
Yeah, and there's also the World Party song about the world. Put the world in the box.
Put the big guy in the box.
Send the box around.
World Party
the world.
has one great song, and everything else is mediocre.
Yeah, but one of the guys went onto a different band after that, and it was awesome.
That one about the ship of fools. That's
Yeah.
a great song. Everything else is mediocre.
Is Stones or Beatles influence.
You know, he did a Dylan cover.
Yeah.
All I really want to do is be friends with you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, that music tells me
Yeah.
that it's time to
Yeah.
Strap yourself down.
Strap yourself down.
Yes.
and we're going to go.
Okay.
I'd stay longer, but I
That's
can't.
fine. Hey, that's fine. You think
Clark
I'm mad?
Howard's coming in, and
You want to fire me up? You want to get me mad?
Erich Von Haessler stays in the studio too long.
$8.01.
Penny.
Bobby?
1 penny.
All right, goodbye, 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 bye, 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 good, bye, bye.
Yeah, good.